All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Can't do TFR tonight, so we'll do an early broadcast of TFR, commercial free. Of course, this one's not really on Truth Frequency Radio. If you do tune into Truth Frequency Radio tonight, it'll be a rebroadcast of a prior show. But yeah, I think in this stream, I just want to talk about the reality of the situation. And again, I've been doing this as a YouTuber, if you will, putting out content online for over a decade now, and I've got to watch channels that used to not have much of a following grow to have a 500,000 subscribers. And again, the name of the game has been selling out. And people over the years have asked me a bunch of times to do an interview or a debate with Sticks and Hammer 666. And, you look at his channel today, he's over 500,000 subs. Once upon a time, he used to have less subs than I have. I mean, the difference is he's never been deleted. And he rode, if you don't know who that guy is, he's a proud Satanist. But he's also an intelligent guy. I'm not going to hate on the guy. He's obviously intelligent and well-spoken. And once upon his time, his channel was all about information and just different topics and educating people about different things that exist in the world. And what his channel's turned into is a Donald Trump channel since 2015 because he realized that's where the money was. And, you look at Sticks and Hammer. That guy was born on January 20th. The 201st day of the nation's age, and born in the year 88, which is the big Trump number, the same year that Oprah interviewed Trump about running for president. So part of me wonders because, once upon a time, he just seemed like another YouTuber, but now he's a huge, well-known name. And yeah, it's just sad how, again, I mean, I was never a fan of him being a proud Satanist, which I guess does fit with the Trump thing as well, right? Because Trump runs on MAGA, M-A-G-A, the highest degree of the Satanic Church is MAGA. But again, I mean, it's just a guy like that. He used to put out a lot of good information and probably didn't get the views he deserved back in the day, probably had about 30,000 subs. But man, you go for Trump and all of a sudden you're at 100,000 subs, and the next thing you know, you're over 500,000. And you just look at so many people that have big platforms. Tim Pool, who started with the Occupy movement. If you don't remember what Occupy was about, it was about down with the system, enough of the system. Tim Pool gets famous off of Occupy, and now he's Mr. Donald Trump. Now he's Mr. Jab. And, I mean, again, it just money controls people, and people allow money to control them. And for all the people who accuse me of that, or it's just it's a totally false statement. Again, I never monetized my channel back in the day. I finally monetized it at the end of 2018 because it was an idea. Somebody said, "Why don't you try monetizing your channel to see if they'll stop deleting it?" I'd had 20 channels deleted at that point, and it did seem to work because we kept that channel up for probably a year and 3 months. And that was a lot better than the weeks and maybe a month channels were lasting prior to that, from the period of June 28th, 2017 through then. But yeah, since monetizing my channel, it's not like almost nearly every video that I make is not eligible for ad revenue. And what it does allow is super chats. Like I say, I got my troll sending super chats. And it seems like that's one of the only groups of people that does send super chats. Thanks for the super chat, troll. By the way, if you guys do want to join the Patreon, we might very well have cracked the Super Bowl today, and it would follow a familiar pattern that we've used a bunch of times to crack the Super Bowl. But yeah, another guy, a guy who I feuded with in the past, and our whole feud started with me asking him, why won't you cover the subject of Gematria? You'll have all these different people on to interview from the truth community, and you'll bring on this person, say, hey, this person's getting censored a lot, help them out. They're trying to rebuild their channel. I was like, hey, I'm over here, man. I've lost like 15 channels. Can you help me out? And then after being repeatedly ignored, I just said, I just think like this guy, I don't think he's really here for truth. I think he's here for money. And then that caught his attention. He got all mad, and he called into a live stream. And he's like, how can you say I'm here for money when you have a book for sale? And I said, well, first of all, I give away that book for free. But yeah, if you do want to spend $5 on it, you can. And it is 800 pages. So I'd say it's quite the value. Whereas you have, 50 different shirts you're advertising every week. But you know, that guy I'm talking about, who used to go by High Impact Flicks, and his channel is called Here's the Deal. Have you guys seen what's happened to him? He got tired of the censorship, and like I always suspected, his primary purpose was money. So he stopped talking about every topic that he used to, and now all he talks about are cop confrontation videos. And you know, I mean, he's being rewarded for it. YouTube doesn't have a problem with that in their algorithm because he's getting more views than he was years ago. But I mean, just like, you know, you go back to his channel 3, 4 years ago, he was talking about how important it is for people to speak up right now and come together because of the policies, how un-American they are, and the writings on the wall. And so it's like all of that's out the window. He doesn't talk about any of that anymore. Now it's just like, oh, look at this cop confrontation video. Look at this cop confrontation video. Oh, here's another cop confrontation video. What he was saying 3, 4 years ago is not untrue. Why did he go away from that? Again, we know the answer for why he's not talking anymore, because it was messing with his bottom line. Couldn't make any money. Kept getting censored, losing videos, being suspended. And, you know, I mean, almost everybody who used to be here, you know, everybody who got wiped out in 2017 along with me, almost everybody quit. They almost all quit, or they went over to BitChute, or they're just on Odyssey exclusively. And again, I mean, that's exactly what they wanted everybody to do. They wanted to wear everybody out. They wanted to make everybody shut up. You know, I mean, when something went down in the world before that was super suspect, there used to be 100 different people on this platform that had between 10,000 followers and upwards of 1 million followers, and they'd all put out a content on the topic. And again, you'd search on YouTube for information on that topic. You could sort through those 50 to 100 videos that got put out. And now almost everybody is gone. And for the few people who still remain, most people won't even cover the topics anymore. You know, they're only doing alien UFO videos, or like Brian, who's now just doing cop watching videos. And it's a damn shame, because that there already wasn't enough people speaking out in the world about things going on. So yeah, I just, you know, I saw this little thing in the image search: selling out is the new keeping it real. And so it seems. And again, it doesn't seem like there's any real consequences for selling out and just towing the establishment line. It seems like that's where all the reward is. So all right, hold on. We got our first caller here. 347. What's up, 347?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, what's going on?
Can you look up Kate Kelland? I just read her name on the World Economics Forum webpage. Her name equals 201 and 66, and it's 66 days until March 22nd.
Could I look up who?
Kate, K-A-T-E, Kate Kelland, Kelland.
Kate Kelland?
Yeah, she just wrote a book about X.
About this Disease X? I see. Book Disease X, the 100 Days Mission to End Pandemics. Okay, yeah, I will look into this more.
Gematria her name. She got the 201 in her name.
Her name is 201, Kate Kelland.
And 66. It's 66 days until March 22nd.
And you're saying March 22nd is her birthday?
No, March 22nd is the day they locked down the world.
Oh, they locked down a lot of different places March 22nd, as we predicted before it happened. Indeed.
Yeah, her name goes perfect.
Okay.
She's on the World Economic Forum's website too. They bigging her up. Anyway, great job, Zach. Great Patreon today too. Wow. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I can't. Is that Gematria 32? I can't remember exactly what his voice sounds like, but he reminds me of Gematria 32. I met him out in New York City. Yeah, Kate Kelland does equal 201. And again, you guys, today is the Preparing for Disease X conference at the World Economic Forum. It's exactly 201 months after the pandemic was declared. Kate Kelland, if you want to look it up again, K-A-T-E, just like you'd expect Kate to be, Kelland, Kelland. Kate Kelland does equal 201 in Gematria. She's part of the World Economic Forum, as he said. It's right here on her profile. They simulated event 201. Remember the day the pandemic was declared, the NBA was locked down. It was blamed on the Jazz player Rudy Gobert. Today, the day of the Preparing for Disease X meeting put on by the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Today, the Jazz game is canceled in the NBA because the team they were going to play, the Warriors, their assistant coach, dropped dead with a heart attack. And you know what's crazy is, again, it's the Utah Jazz one more time involved in the game, and Utah Jazz is 113, like coronavirus pandemic, like the National Basketball Association, like preparing for disease X. So that news is breaking right now. And, you know, just even bringing up that Brian guy a minute ago, he took the time to finally address Gematria when the troll Russian vids attacked him using a Gematria decode on him. And then he used the Russian vids bogus decode to address the topic and said, see, I think Gematria might just be like a BS type of thing, just like a coincidental thing. It's just like, dude, God. No, it's definitely not a BS thing. It's the tool to know if you want to see what the cabal's up to. What's up, 949?
Zachary?
Yes.
Honey, you just keep doing what you're doing. You have no idea what I've been through. I am the craziness of the Da Vinci Code, no lie. My uncles were with Eisenhower and Churchill during the Versailles Peace Treaty. That was USA Army. My family was second over in the Mayflower, Swiss Amish, Swiss bank. Our house over in Switzerland, which I don't own, everything's been stolen from me because I won't shut up. Basically, the Bush family's there. And with Rosenberg, that's Norway, where Hitler's doctor went to, because he told Eichmann to dig up the skull and bones of the Polish family, which is my grandmother was from Poland. And she was from Poland, and she was part of the Romanov family. It's not Prince Philip's line. And this goes to Prince George. This is everything. This is down to the Black Hispanic Asia type of Holocaust for our melatonin. Listen to Sloan Bella. Please get a hold of her. She's the same as you, sweetheart. It's crazy what's going on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Listen to me. I saw the Boston bombers at Philadelphia airport with my 12-year-old son. The German kid told me to shut up. I don't shut up. This is what Snowden was working on. The black woman behind the counter pulled the tape against 11 federal judges because they were from Russia, and this is my Russian line. It was a setup. We have Biden. I ran for Congress in Delaware because I went to my son gave up Olympics for England USA, and I came over to San Diego after 23 years. I don't know. The police said, we thought you're European. I'm like, what the hell? We do this to European? What's going on with this country? So I went out to Switzerland, went to the UN. It shut down December 2014. It's all in the paper. But we have Saudi running human rights with Holland. You have to understand, this is Holland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark doing this against the Romanov line because the Romanov line wasn't pure. This is for adrenochrome. And this is the kids. 100 kids is $1 billion. Our house in the south of France has campers in it. Everything's been stolen from me. I don't care. Prince Harry, we can clone people in 3 days. This is insane what is going on, but they know not what they do. If they kill your family one day, you're going to kill them the next. But the thing is it's not the same person. So she will not, this is all my bloodline. This is Prince George. I was raped in what was going on in San Diego. This is from the mayor of San Diego, what happened. I had no idea. All was for me, but I'm good. There's species in this world, sweetheart, that is, I'm not scared because I loved my children, and that's what it's about. And that's for you and your missus there. So this is a crazy world. We don't stop. Thank goodness you're cracking it, sweetheart. Get a hold of Sloan Bella. I'm shut down every which way. Everything's been stolen from me. All fraud, everything. I ran for Congress, got a phone call. They had my kid out in California. Ran out, and I was thrown in jail. The bank stole my money and put it in. That was California Coast. Why? Because at California Coast, the police put 3 steps. Utah guys, that was the San Bernardino killers. That's Amazon doing all the cloning at these big centers, these big warehouses. This is an insane world. It's about balance of the good and the evil. I'm in the paper with the Pope when he got shot. He was from Poland. This is Switzerland stealing bank money from me, whatever. But I'm in the paper. I'm the girl in white, but I wasn't there 2 years later. I'm not a time traveler. This is New York Times doing this. Everything was for me, but I'm supposed to hurt everybody, and I'm not doing it. CRISPR, CRISPR, the girls can't get pregnant from the vaccine. That's Trump coming after me with P. Diddy, to what's been going on with what Texas said no to the FBI, and a lot of crap going on there. But the end of the day is I have so much, and I'm not stopping, and I will not stop, because people like you, sweetheart, are giving me strength. And it's always for me to be empress, to kill everybody, to what Trump's doing, to what they did to me, grab her pee, all this stuff. They are gay of what is it's a species thing. They want men to wrestle. Look up Obey Company. You'll see Trump. You'll see Obama. You'll see Bush. It's all drinking blood. It's all adrenochrome, but it knocks out your adrenaline gland, and then they need brown eyes, brown hair, the melatonin. It's like a vampire thing. Listen to Sloan Bell. She'll tell you what it's about. It's insane. This is 9/11. This is Alan Sugar in Chigwell, where I was from. And it was what happens. I went to Switzerland, did that, went to the south of France, went to Aix-Provence police. They're scared. You guys are scared? Who's helping me? I saw the Boston bombers and nobody's doing anything. And then we got a phone call, and it was people from America, 911, when I was at the police office. And they go, hold on, you're 911, what? Give us the phone. They didn't know French. That was Charlie Hebdo. I got France 500 million, Italy 500 million. This is what it's all about. But it's not their line. But it came from over there to take us down 70 years to China and then 70 years to Argentina. The Germans aren't going to go to China. They're going straight to Argentina. This is what Alan Eichmann and also Oswald, he donated everything to TCU. I went to Texas Christian University. I lived with Bell and Howell Helicopter, John Howell. Mitt Romney went to his house with my neighbor in La Jolla. This is Qualcomm doing all of this on my phone and everywhere. I have all emergency numbers on. I mean, talk about that. That'll give you a nightmare. And then my husband's family, the U.S. Navy got his grandfather out of the water, World War II, pulled him out of the water, threw him over to Prince Philip's boat and said, battleship game. It's not their line. It's not the Gloucester line. It's not Princess Diana's line, although I saw the car that killed her. I saw everything of what was happening. And I'm not shutting up. I won't shut up because these people have, whether they were cloned during the automobiles, it doesn't matter. This is our world. They want to get rid of us now. The CRISPR line, we can patent our children. You have a baby, 2,400 kids in Hawaii missing. Because why? Because they patent them. This is, look it up, do your research. It's insane. I was thrown in jail for 3 months. I had China, Ukraine, Nigeria, Philippines, and Mexico. Saying we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Brandon O'Connell had it on his videos about what they did to me. And they went into my eggs. And then they beat me up, threw me with a 5-minute doctor's report, and said I have schizophrenia. I have degrees from TCU. I've done everything all over the world. Call me what you want. Call me anything. I'm not the Babylon queen or whatever's going on. I'm a mother, and we don't do this. And this is for our world and our humanity to pass this on. We won. We are the ark. And this was the Persia against that white hat foil where they have Bonacci on there. Listen to him. This is an old game from Persia, from Israel. And that's why Prince Philip's mother was in Israel buried. But it's not her line. It's come from the Romanov line, but she was destroyed up in Switzerland. She escaped. This is Maddie McCann. I had twins at Portland Hospital. Papilopoulos was my doctor. That's with Trump. This is all him following me. He named his daughter just after my daughter. At the end of the day, my daughter's in Saudi. The CIA director, 3 presidents, Cappy's with Bush, and then you got Biden and CIA with Scranton, which is with my uncles up there, which is the plan against. At the end of the day, isn't it? We do things good to do bad. I'm good. I can't help that when I'm good, they have to do bad. Maybe to balance it out, because AI doesn't have a heart, and we have to balance it out that way. This is a cabal, but this is also AI automated that they want to do to it. The end of the day is they want men with men. They hate women because we protect the men. We protect our families. And that's been going on since Mary Magdalene. This is the Mona Lisa. This is Salvador Mundi, my daughter. Take her eyes out and stick it on a painting. Vegas, which is Prince Solomon, my IVF, Prince George, my IVF. It doesn't matter. You can't take it all with you. Billions or trillions. This is JP Morgan putting 2 car loans, my car loan. I was bailing him out. That was at home in San Diego. You know, I was supposed to go up to Fletcher's, and there was a gun shoot, and that was a donor, the cop shooter. He was aside of me, and they took him at Gravilla, and they took him up to San Bernardino or somewhere. And then the police found out about that I knew about all that because it's happening in front of me. They're doing it to me as a joke. To the cabal, the Jewish, because it's not their line. They were chosen from Norway, Sweden, Denmark to go after the Romanovs. That's your Bolshevik versus the Romanovs. This is why Putin's all over me too, with China, with what they're making babies. Come out from my people. I will not join because I believe in mankind. I believe in humanity, and I believe in my children. Crazy story, huh?
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you very much for calling in and dropping all the information.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I mean, I have Rochelle Leanne, Leanne. I'm trying to get this out on YouTube. I mean, I'm picking myself. I've been diced and spliced in England. They won't let me go to I have to be with the royal family. I had 45 consultants. The Russian woman comes up to me, she goes, we are from Poland and we are from Russia. We are strong women. Get out of here.
All right.
This is now, Sunak has just gone over to Kyiv to say it's his line because they got all my notes mixed up with this Indians, all these Indian ladies in the London hospital. And through Parliament, they wouldn't let me have a second opinion. But I'm home, honey. I'm in California. I'm in, I just find
well, friend, I really appreciate it. I'm going to let somebody else get in, though. But thank you for all the information. Okay. And you have a good day. You be safe out there. All right. What's up, 814? 814, you got to mute your call. You got to mute the video. You got to mute the video. Yeah.
All right, my fault. You there, bro?
Yep.
All right, Zach. Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, man. I just caught the tail end of this. So I don't know really what the whole discussion is and everything, but you know what I wanted to talk to you about, man? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. I was doing some research, man. And first, I got into this like when I was like in 2001 when I tapped into college. And just a couple of years ago, I was bored one night. I came across you, and you were, talking about Gematria, man. So you got me hooked, dude. Like I tell everybody about it. But without that being said, there's 5 eclipses this year, right?
Well, I know about the big one in the U.S. on April 8th, but yeah, there's always a lot of eclipses each year, depending on where you are in the world.
Well, if I can encourage you to come to Erie, Pennsylvania on April 8th, because if you look at it, that's where it's going to be 100% totality at. It's actually going to be 100% totality from 3/16 till 3/20. I mean, hell, man, hotel rooms are going for like $1,000 to $3,000 a night here, bro. Everybody in their Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to be here. But listen, this is where I was calling you about, though. The dates of these eclipses, March 24th, 24, April 8th, 24, September 17th, 2024, October 2nd, 2024, October 17th, 2024. They all, I don't know what the correct term is, so help me out, man. I don't know if they're like called anagrams or if they're triangulars, or the primes. I'm still trying to learn that stuff, man. I would love to learn that part of it. But what I'm saying is you could decipher 666 in all the eclipses this year. And I think that, I don't know how, religious you are or whatever, but I think that the number 24 is a very important number because, we're in the year of the wooden dragon, then we're going to go, we're in the year of the year of the snake, and then we're going to go into the year of the dragon. But if you look at March 24, March is the 3rd month, which is, I guess, a triangular of 6, is that correct?
Is what correct? Is what correct?
Hello?
Is what correct?
All right, so how, like I was saying, so the first one is March 24, right? I mean, in a way, you could say that's 666. April 8th, 2024, you could say that's 666.
If you just want to do number magic and turn anything into 6, sure, March 24th is, not really. Come on.
Well, look, that's what I'm asking you. When you say like triangular numbers, does that mean like 3, 6, 9, 12? Is that what that means?
No, a triangular number is, for example, 91 is the 13th triangular number. That means if you add 1 through 13 together, it equals 91.
Okay. All right, now I understand. Well, this is the other part that I wanted to bring up to you, because I might be wrong with these eclipses, but I think these eclipses are really important because the one on April 8th is the full total one. And then the one that happens on September 17th going into the 18th is actually going to be the brightest star out of Scorpius of Scorpion. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you type in Vivek, V-I-V-E-K, his numbers are 69, 24, 66, and 30. And if you type in Trump, 80, his numbers are 88, 25, 47, and 29. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, you're probably already aware of this. But like, if you see like how they're at, how like people can text in to donate him money, and his number is 88022. Did you see that?
Yeah, you're all over the place, man. Hey, thanks for the call. Okay. All right. Maybe I'm not going to take any more calls this stream. My God. Here, I'm going to just get back to ranting about the way things are. So, again, I have chosen not to sell out where almost everybody who stayed on the tube for the time I've been here has. And it's just like, it's annoying. It's annoying. Here, let me tell you about what's so annoying about this moment. Again, 2 years ago, we were getting a lot more views. There was a lot more support. I was thinking that by this moment, we would have continued to build. And I was envisioning that we'd have a team of people by now, big things would be happening. We'd be at all these major places that are happening. Like, it would have been nice to be in Iowa with a team of people. I'm going to hold off on the calls for a minute, you guys. I'm going to take the number down. Just after those last 2 calls, I'm cool on the calls for now. But again, here's what I envisioned. By this time, we'd have a team of people, and we'd be out in places like Iowa and where everything's going down, getting out the word about what really needs to be going on and trying to make noise to get in front of the media and get people to talk and buzz about this, because I know we can do it. When we went down to that Trump rally, April 19th, 2020, here in Washington State, we got a lot of people to stop what they were doing and gather around us and listen, because I was explaining to them what Trump had just done, being in Davos the day COVID was confirmed in the U.S., and the ritual. And a lot of people understood that. And that's the kind of information that needs to be at all these Trump gatherings and political gatherings, because it can make people stop in their tracks and think about what's going on. And like I've been saying the whole time, people think it's arrogant, but I don't know who else can go out and speak publicly and drop information and facts that will make people stop in their tracks and maybe go completely against what they were previously thinking just 5 seconds earlier, because that's what needs to happen. The whole nation is still marching in line with the tyrants, still marching along to the political BS system. And again, I open up the phone lines. I'm like, are these who my supporters are in the world? When I go out and pound payment, I don't ever meet anybody like these callers. I shouldn't say that, actually. There was one woman who came out in Buffalo who was just like that first caller. And we were just like, whoa. Anyway, but there's not many people like that. Open up the phone lines and it's just like, okay, who are these people? That last call? Oh, I don't even know what's going on, man. 85, 29, but what, the 36? Is that? It's just like, dude, please stop. I don't need people to make it look like we're a bunch of wackadoodles here. I don't ever get on here and present information that makes anything look wackadoodle, tinfoil hattish. No, I get on here and drop facts, consistent patterns, and show how rigged the game is. And again, it needs to happen on more than just online, because the problem with online is just a lot of people can't find the feeds anymore because of all the censorship. And some people just aren't going to YouTube for information. A lot of America only goes to cable news and the TV for their information. Maybe they finally ventured onto the internet and go on Trump's Truth Social. It's so maddening to see that people are still marching along to Donald Trump. Tim Pool, who was previously with Occupy. And, I used to go to the Occupy thing in Seattle. I was always out at Occupy, and I always wondered about Occupy, because there'd be some people there I'd be like, this can't be real. I don't want to go into that story, but anyway, it's just like, how can you be about Occupy and now you're about the system and an establishment candidate? I mean, this is just I hate the whole idea of selling out and how many people in this world are a sellout, and it's sickening. But yeah, again, just a quick break from that too. Look at what's going on at this moment in history, guys. Again, what did I write a book about? number games, 9/11 to coronavirus. In that book, you learn about the ritual of 113 and the pandemic and what they did with the NBA. And you learn about 201 and how important that is. And now here we are, 201 weeks after the pandemic was declared, on the nose, and the World Economic Forum's at it again. And on the same day, they got a new simulation with the 113 name, and they're doing the exact same thing in the NBA with the same team and a dead coach from a heart attack. I mean, could the mockery be any more obvious? You know, 2 years ago at this time, the headlines coming out of Australia and the UK about the phantom heart disease that's coming, that's going to take a lot of lives over the next 5 years. So we're right in the middle of that right now. And it's obvious it's going to happen. You know, I'm getting to see it right here just from looking at Sweet Lady's workplace. Already all the health ailments there, somebody dead in their sleep in their mid-30s. What I learned about the person who died, what's ironic about it, is they died on the eve, or they died the night they woke up the next day, it would have been their 37th birthday. That's how old they were when they died in their sleep. So anyway. And then just right here, you know, because people who do know how to use the knowledge are saying, look at this book that just came out last year, Disease X, the 100-Day Mission to End Pandemics. And what's the author's name equal? Kate Kelland, 201. You know, those are the kind of phone calls I appreciate. When people call in and use the knowledge in a relevant way. We're talking about Disease X right now. We're talking about 201. That's something to call in about. Not, hey, is March 24, 24, 666? In what world is 3/24/24/666? I mean, if you think that's 666, you need to re-enroll in, like, literally in preschool, kindergarten, first grade. By the time you get through those grades, you should understand that 3/24 and 24 are not 666. And doing stuff like that just makes work look so dumb. That's what my trolls who like leave comments like that. It's like they mock things like that. It's like, have I ever presented anything like that in my life? And for all you know, that guy who just called in was a troll. I hate when people call in. They're like, oh, I just called in. What's the topic? It's like, why are you calling in? If you don't even know what we're talking about, why are you calling in? If you call into somebody's show, know what the topic is. And by the way, I do see a group of you guys in the chat. Itachi, King Richard, others. Why are you guys harassing the people in the community that don't even need any attention? Like, nobody's watching that one guy's channel. You guys are the only one watching his channel. You're the only one giving him attention. And then you're making all your content about making fun of him. What's that about? That's lame. You know, you guys constantly giving Cuts attention and making fun of him. The real consequence of that is him calling Sweet Lady's work every day. So you guys are kind of fueling that. And I've asked you guys both to stop giving so much attention to the trolls. It makes you guys part of the troll community. You know, King Richard, you're an intelligent guy. You can do really good decodes. You can write well, but then you get on your live streams and you're so focused on what the trolls are doing. And then your whole video is the word bro and N, bro, N, bro, N. It's like, why does he conduct himself this way? He can write really well. He can decode really well. Why are you wasting your time with this? That's why I miss the old community that was here. You know, pre-Kobe Bryant death. There used to be a lot of good contributors. I don't know where everyone went. There used to be a lot of good contributors who knew how to decode, who helped out, and, you know, didn't make things look embarrassing. So, yeah, I'd say you guys are hardly better than Cuts right now with what you guys are doing, you know? And also, I'm not happy that you guys got Cuts' channel deleted. It was really ironic timing, I'll tell you that much. Because it was starting to go too far with what he was doing with her work and the harassment. And it was real weird that the day that there was finally an investigation into that, his channel got taken down. I was like, what are the odds of this? The day they finally start to look at it, the channel goes down? So that whole thing made me suspect. It's like, what is going on? Get the other troll's channel taken down. The one that actually knows how to make videos, that's a real piece of shit, who chops up every video and makes persuasive, misleading videos. Scumbag piece of shit. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's whose channel needs to go down. Cuts' channel wasn't a problem. Cuts' channel just exposed really what the trolls are about. Bunch of satanic creeps. Charmed One, you can't say right because you're always in there fighting with trolls too. So all of you guys are stirring up the hornet's nest. But yeah, anyway, again, there isn't TFR tonight because things came up and I can't do it at that time. And just putting something out here for the time being. But yeah, mostly for me, this is a venting stream because I am frustrated. I'm frustrated. You know, for the not even the last 2 years, I say the last 2 years, I've really been working my ass off. I mean, for the last decade, I've been working my ass off every day. But the last 2 years, I have been grinding even more and just like support, like it like hit a plateau and has gone down and just like steadily goes down more and more. So, and I know that's the algorithm. It's because we're not reaching enough new people and people who've been around are giving up because, you know, in a way, I understand why people give up. It is hard to keep your head in the game and pay attention to what's going on in the world and want to see things to change. And I mean, in the whole time we've been here grinding away, we've watched the world deteriorate, which the consequence of that, it's not our fault, but the reason that's happening is because there's not enough people in the world doing their part to stop the tyranny that's going on. And also just seemingly that humanity does not know how to cooperate or work together. And again, I mean, I could also improve in that department, but I've made a lot of effort to cooperate and work together. And I have hosted a platform now for 5 years that has been censorship free, that gives people a place to organize a network. And I just, you know, I haven't seen anyone do it. And it's been a big bill every month for 5 years. And it's just like, I mean, the reality is I wake up every morning and I'm like, why not just quit today? I mean, shouldn't I just quit? Like, what's the point? But like I always say, I'm not gonna quit. I mean, because again, the day you quit is the day you're essentially defeated. It's just sometimes I wake up, I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to figure out how to do something completely different because this is not working at this point. You know, it's just not working. There's not enough people who support. There's not enough people who care. The views get worse and worse as each day goes on. And I mean, it's true, right? Just as time, you look at time, viewership down, support down, engagement down. Shout out to the woman a second ago who left the $8 super chat. It was good to see her face. She's been around forever. I think she used to have a different handle, but yeah, it's always nice to see people who've been around for a long time. And I don't know her in person, but I just recognize her avatar, and I know she's been around for many years. So anyway. But yeah, it's just like I don't know, and it's just annoying just watching the way things work. It's like these goons online who harass and troll my work and make fun of it, and they're probably part of the establishment in the machine. But you know, they're well funded and well supported. Every time they get on and do a stream, tons of support comes in, and it's just like, and all they're doing is making fun of people, making fun of people, making fun of this, talking shit about this, literally having live streams called Shit Talk Extravaganza. And I guess that's part of the problem too. It's like even my streams, I can do a 3-hour stream dropping nothing but facts, and there'll relatively ever be much support for those streams. But I can get on and vent and rant, and usually those are the streams where people donate and support. And I'm like, people just like drama, and that's what the cabal wants too. That's why all their programming and reality TV is all drama based. It's like people don't value knowledge; they value drama and entertainment. 484.
The Browns lost. Another wrong prediction. The Browns.
Hey, dumbass. Oh, it's just a recording. Yeah, you know what? The Browns lost, but we hit all our player props in that game. And until Monday, things were good with the team picks. But hey, even on Monday, didn't we have a player to score a touchdown who paid 10-1? Yes, we did. So call back about that, troll. Let me know about David Moore's 10-1 touchdown that I said was worth the investment. I said it was a long shot with a great narrative. Boom. Kiss my ass. These trolls are so pathetic too. Like, listen to what pussies they are. That guy who calls in always with the recordings. Stop calling in with your voice recorded and call in and have a conversation. Otherwise, you look like a loser. And you are. I mean, what else is a troll? The Browns lost. The Browns lost. And did we say the Browns were a lock? No. I explained why it could be Houston versus Harbaugh after what just happened in the championship. 610.
Yeah, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Hear me? Yo, now I wanted to share a decode.
Yeah, hold on. And yeah, exactly. Call in about the Rangers, right? 50-1. Who had that again? Another baseball future nailed. Like I've done every single season, I've nailed a big baseball future. All right, what's up, 610?
Yo, I don't know if you're on the site Almighty, but I just made a post decoding the death of the assistant coach for the Warriors. I don't know if you can pull it up on your laptop or if you want me to just go over it straight off the phone.
So it's on Free to Find Truth?
Yeah, it's on my profile. I just posted it on the app or whatever, the Mighty app.
What's your profile?
Niall Overton.
Oh, okay. I know exactly who this is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching it on my TV, so I'll just wait for you to bring it up on screen.
It's up.
It's up. Okay, cool. But yeah, I put everything in the image. I guess it's on screen. People can see it. I know it's going to be long. Just a quick breakdown, but I mean, it's the same as normal. Murder by numbers, easy. This was a simple decode. Took me 5 minutes to put this together. But yeah, you can see the guy Dejan Milojevic, Serbian-born former player, dead at 46 on a 62 date numerology, sacrificed 46 and 62. He suffered a heart attack yesterday, which was 276 days after his birthday, which is April 15th. A date written 15/4.
Here, hold on. Just real quick before you go any further with this decode, again, I like to just keep things real simple. Again, it's the day of the Disease X simulation. It's about another virus.
Yeah.
He's dead at 46, 89 days before his upcoming birthday. What's virus equal? 46 and 89. But go ahead.
Yep, just breaking. That's super relevant. They suffered a heart attack 276 days after his 15/4 birthday. The Warriors 154, the Golden State Warriors 276, and then he died today, the 17th day of the year, NBA 17, obviously. But this was 277 days after his birthday, which is the 59th prime number, and today is a date written 1/17, like 117. Obviously, Warriors 59, Golden State Warriors 117. So that was pretty much it. Just wanted to share that for the people out there. But just a simple. Same old, unfortunately. But yeah, murder by numbers for sure.
Indeed. Great decode again, Niall. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, take care. Yeah, again, I mean, just the mockery and the fact that people don't get it. And I mean, how many NBA fans know today that the preparing for Disease X simulation's going on? And how many NBA fans today even know what Gematria is? Almost none. And again, that's why we got to get out places. When we were at the Lakers building all weekend in April this year, again, we had a lot of those stop and thank us, and they were just mind blowing. And again, I still remember how that day was too, man. We were out there for what on the last day? I forget. We were out there for a long time. I want to say it was like a 12-hour live stream on the last day. And the first, 10, 11 hours of the stream, I think there were $20 in donations as we're out there all day dropping facts. It was literally something like that. It was like $20 in donations. And, for the last hour, though, what we realized is they open up the outside bar on the other side of the street. We went and set the speaker up in front of them, and we started going back and forth with the fans, and then see people love that. People love the confrontation and the drama of that and going back and forth with the fans and watching me talk shit to the people on the street. And then money poured in. I mean, we made like $700 in an hour. We made like $20 literally in the first 10 hours of live streaming, and then about $700 in the last hour. And again, it's not like the first 10 hours of the stream were bad. I mean, we dropped a lot of information, engaged with a lot of people, but people didn't want to donate until they saw the confrontation and the shit talking. And again, so it makes me think, okay, got to go back to the drawing board. I got to figure out how to turn this thing into a full-on entertainment venue if we're ever going to get the support to do anything. So it has to turn into like a comedy show, come out in costumes. So, and it's just like, it's just like every time I go out to Seattle, spend all day out in Seattle, drive back and forth 3 hours each way, 6 hours of driving, live stream for 8 hours every time I go out there. Those live streams usually generate about $30 or $40 in donations. So it's like, And then you watch these like shit talk extravaganza making fun of somebody's OnlyFans video. The same people make fun of Gematria sometimes on their channels. I mean, these guys are pulling in $1,000 in a 2-hour live stream. It's just like, God, I mean, this is why like my trolls get mad when I say that I want to see humanity fall. It's because I do want to see humanity fall. I know what a joke humanity is. All they care about is entertainment and all the wrong shit and being haters and jealous and envy. And like nobody values knowledge. Nobody wants to stand up and do the right thing. Nobody wants to fight back against the tyranny. They want to make fun of OnlyFans girls, you know. And the one guy is such a lame too, who makes fun of these OnlyFans girls. He's making fun of Gematria a year back with his Jim Bob buddy. But I just remember watching a stream like from a year back, and he's like, I mean, I don't want to get into it, but I was like, what a lame this guy is. Talk about no life experience. God. He's like, I don't know why it matters having sex with a different person. Like, sex is sex. I was like, this guy must not have had very much sex in his life if he just thinks sex is sex. I didn't want to get on this topic, but it's like, why are people supporting this guy? Is it just like a bunch of lames in the world? A bunch of guys who never got laid who now like, God, I was like, this guy must have only had one life partner. He must have no perspective on different experiences. What a lame. But anyway, totally different topic. It's just, it does make me sick to watch these rejects who make fun of my work be well funded and financed by God knows who, when it's like we literally got the message over here that could change the world and stop what's going on, and like everyone's like, well, who gives a fuck? So all right, here, I'll put the number back up. Just save the number in your phone. It's not the same number it normally is on TFR because we're not on the TFR call board. We're on my cell phone. But here's the number. What's my perspective on life? If you watch enough of my channel, you'll probably know my perspective on life. Let's see. 802. Let's see if we can get a good call today. 802.
My perspective on life. Let's see.
This is Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, hi. My name is Jennifer, and I had a question for you.
Okay.
My husband just got me one of your books for Christmas. I found your YouTube channel probably about 4 months ago, and I was familiar with some number meanings. I come at this different, more from a magical, astrological perspective rather than pure gematria. And one of the things I noticed in the book, I think the book that he got me is the one on the World Trade Center, the 911 book.
Yes.
Talking about 47 and also 74. And then most recently, I saw a podcast you did with Donald Trump. We were talking about 56,000, so 56. And those numbers add to 11. And again, I'm very new at this. I'm just learning. But those numbers all add to 11. And it's my understanding that along with 6, 11 is one of those numbers in Kabbalah that signifies evil. So is 47 really the point, 74 really the point, 56 really the point, or is it that ultimately those can be reduced to 11?
Well, all those numbers do matter alone in themselves, but yes, another key component of all those numbers is that in numerology, they're 11. So, but yeah, the 47 matters. It's like the Masons study the 47th problem of Euclid, which has to do with foundation, which is why they lay their cornerstones on 47 dates and why this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month. But yeah, all of the numerology of 11 is very crucial. And 11 doesn't just have to do with evil. I mean, 11's the master number. And you think about it, like 11's the master plan. Like 9/11 was a major turning point in a big plan that was planned decades in advance that went down in the 11th state, New York, with the big buildings that look like an 11, of course, on the 11th day of the month. But just remember, in Kabbalah, there's nothing that's all evil or all good. Everything is dualistic. So.
Right. So my understanding is that 11 symbolizes the duality. So in dealing with numbers and magic, you can only have one number one. So one would signify God. So if you have 1, what you're saying is that there's 2 gods in there. So that makes that number 11 inherently not a good number because it's not the 1, it's the 1. Does that make sense?
Well, that's your interpretation based on your belief, but I mean, yeah.
I did a lot of reading of his name just
Just to make a point, though, just to again, I understand Christianity promotes that there's one God, but do we necessarily know at the end of the day that there's one God? I mean, would it necessarily be a bad thing if there was more than one God?
Well, I'm not saying I'm not calling in to push a belief like that. What I'm calling in is to say the reading that I've done when they're talking about the number 11 is they're saying that one of the reasons it symbolizes something that's not pure is because it's 1 and 1 rather than just 1, if that makes sense. And so that's why they see 1 and 1 or 11 as being not a pure number. I'm not calling to push a Christianity belief. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to talk about the number and then the reading that I've done from that excess aspect, and then noticing that a lot of the numbers you're talking about, like the 47, the 74, recently on your Trump video with 56,000, those, and like I noticed the Lions won, I think it was by the games.
They won 24-23, 47 points. Lions equals 24, Ford Field equals 47. Henry Ford died on 4-7 in the year 47. Now they're playing Tampa Bay, the other 47 team. Yeah.
Right. So it's all, but it's also, I'm just wondering if another way to look at it is 11. I don't.
It is. It is. I've emphasized that in a lot of videos that pretty much all the numbers that I predominantly talk about do break down to 11, which is the master number, and that's not an accident. Just like DC being on the 38th parallel, another number that factors into 11. But there's a reason that Pentagon equals 38, like death, like murder, like killing, like RIP, and that's what war brings is death. So.
Okay. See, I'm just learning this, so thank you. I appreciate you taking my question, and I'll just keep watching and keep reading. And just have you done anything? I mean, like I said, I'm new, but I'm reading the books. Do you deal specifically with the number 11, or no? Just the other numbers more?
Or? No, we talk about things with 11. Again, we talk about the number 11. It does come up. For example, I mean, we're on a calendar that's all based on the Pope, and the word Pope is 11. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for taking my question.
All right. You're welcome. You take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was nice of her husband to get the book. 937. It's a troll. 423.
Hey, Zach. It's Brian McGuire, brother. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I've been calling for a long time.
Yeah, what's up?
Man, listen, as far as you're talking about the work not growing, bro, I hope you understand that the censorship and the level that it's at, I've been kicked off of every platform, and it usually ends when I start talking about you. Like, I have my own shtick that I go on, but when I bring you up and I start talking about something that you did, that's usually when I get banned off of a platform. And I'll have trolls, like on TikTok is my most recent thing, and I'll have guys that, they have 10,000 or more followers, and they come out of the woodwork, start talking about you, saying that they've gone to, battle with you about all the information you drop. So I just want you to understand that your work in general, across the internet, across every single platform, like, you got trolls everywhere, bro, and they're coming at your supporters, and then we get kicked off.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you called in and said that, because that is 1,000,000% true. There's a lot of people who have lost their page for interviewing me. You know, Chad Factor, he lost his entire show after interviewing me, and he decided not even come back, which I always felt bad about, and it's happened to a few other people too. And you're right. I mean, if you post my name anywhere, you get attacked by trolls right away. But at the same time, that's why I say, like, you guys, that's why I need support, because there's so many people trying to stop this message. And again, maybe that it's so obvious to me that Mark Passio will not take my call anymore, even though he drives me nuts. But he does have a good message, and he's also Jesuit educated. Adam Green, who debates everybody, just said he will not debate me. He also deleted my interview the day after he did it. And yeah, it's just there's like a blackout. It's like people act like I do not exist, but obviously people are aware of the work. But again, I'm telling people, I need the 3,000 people that abandoned me that used to support. I need at least some of you guys to come back, because here, this might sound bad on my point, that I cannot win the domestic life battle here with Sweet Lady, because right now she just looks and she goes, "What's the point of going out, Zach? Nobody supports. Hardly anyone shows up. You lost all your funding. What's the point of going out? Plus, it's unsafe." I mean, when I went down to the California trip, we had the weirdos coming out and the one guy flashing all the signs behind my back. So again, but at the same time, here, just so I can shut up and you can finish your call. I'm sorry if you've been censored for sharing my work, but yeah, you do bring up a real point.
Well, so Zach, you're excellent at Gematria, right? And I think what I'm good at is taking everything everyone's good at and putting it all together. So I get banned for my own reasons, but like I said, when I start correlating your stuff with the stuff that I'm talking about, because like I talk about, I was a Marine, man, and I went overseas. And I can even talk about, like, you're talking about people need to go out in public, right? And I completely agree with you. Most people are completely afraid. Like, there's this whole social anxiety that everyone has. And they're afraid to go out and to be scowled at and have people say mean things to them. But that's what needs to be done. It needs to be done in the physical world. But most people aren't willing to do that. And just as an example, like my Marine friends, Zach, that have gone overseas and done horrible things, they can justify that in their mind. And they still to this day believe that they did the right thing and they were spreading democracy. And they look at their own country, and they're triple jabbed and double masked, and they don't understand how they can do one thing in another country, but they can't defend their own country. There's a massive campaign of, I mean, my friend says the whole world has been MK Ultra. You know, we can summarize it like that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I know there are some soldiers, including yourself, who do see what's wrong here, but you're right. There are a lot that just don't get it. And it's the mind control. It's like you said.
Zach, and it's scary, bro. It's really scary how few people really understand. And like you're saying, the censorship is so bad online that we do need to go out in person. And I've tried, man. And I've stood out on street corners by myself. And dude, I protested veteran suicide by myself. Just as an example, I had people swear at me, bro. You know, curse me out, tell me I'm a piece of shit. I'm just standing there by me. I don't have anything Trump related, nothing, politically affiliated at all. And they're cursing me out, telling me I'm a piece of shit. So this is where we're at.
Yeah, and again, it's only going to get worse if something's not done and there isn't somehow a spark and an uprising of more people. And the thing is, going out and doing the right thing can be contagious. When I was out in Yakima every day on the corner, that inspired several people in this community to go out and do the same thing on their corner. And again, sadly, what kind of brought it to an end for me is that it seemed like, people had had enough, and the weirdos were starting to come out each day and harass. And the last day that I was out there, this guy came out of nowhere and just started throwing rocks at us. And the day before that, we had some gangbanger come by and flash his gun at us. So I was just like, okay, maybe I need to get off the corner for a minute.
That's what I want you and everybody else listening to understand, is that there's a massive censorship campaign. So the internet's not even really going to be an option. And there's trolls. There's an active campaign of people and bots that are trolling not just you, but the people that try to share your work. So, and even when you go out into the physical world, you're still going to encounter those people. So, it's now or never. And I'll just recommend people, you get chalk markers and write on your windows. It's something I do. You can write a message so everywhere you're driving around, everybody sees it. And the last thing I'll say is that before I let you go, I said this in the comments, I know you've seen it, is that I think this is AI running the show with the numbers, man, because it's all ones and zeros. And that's how it thinks. I don't think the powers that be are smart enough to run this. So they use a computer, and the computer speaks in this code, and that's what this code is related to.
It's possible, but at the same time, it's like, listen, I mean, we understand the teams that have the right numbers in the NBA for the ritual today. They both happen to be playing each other the day of Disease X. It's the same numbers it was on March 11th. It's pretty much the same ritual. So at the same time, I'm like, why couldn't a human being plan that?
Well, because I just don't think the powers that be are smart enough. It's not the person. I just think the people that run the show, they use a computer because they need it. You know what I mean?
We got to give, but hold on. It's just like I always say, there's one kid who I went to school with, who I grew up with. I was in middle school and high school with him, and he was the one person I knew that was definitely smarter than me. And he went on to MIT, and he's probably building missiles right now for Boeing or something. But he was a 1600 on the SAT. There are very smart people in this world. And tell me this, mathematically, is it easier to construct these numerical rituals or to build a skyscraper? What's the more challenging thing to do mathematically?
Oh, it's definitely the code. I agree. But my point is that an intelligent person would be moral. An intelligent person would be moral, and anything immoral is inferior. And that's kind of the summation of that.
Sure. Okay. Well, I appreciate the call and the reminder, and sorry that my work's getting you censored, but it is true.
We need you, man.
Yeah, I don't plan on quitting. It's just the way I feel right now is neutered. I feel like I can't do well, I shouldn't say I can. I mean, I could if I just said, F you, sweet lady, I'm doing it anyway, but then I'd have a problem here with the domestic life. But it would be a lot easier if I still had people in the world supporting and helping out and helping me build the case here. So anyhow.
You created an organization like state by state where you had like a president each state, and then you could have like a monthly meeting for, like a club kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. Try it out. So
I don't want to take it to time. I'm just spitballing ideas for Zach. We need you, and that's all. I'm being selfish, I guess.
All right, but I do appreciate your call and everything you brought up. So thank you.
All right, brother. Good luck.
All right, take care. Yeah, again, it's like, I was telling you that Destiny guy, that guy dyes his hair blue, and the liberal guy that promotes every mainstream agenda and defends the clot shot and all this. I get tired of his videos showing up in my feed. I had to look this morning where he's educated. Would you believe that he went to Creighton Prep? Little Jesuit scumbag. What's up, 469? Okay, yeah. Hey, trolls, I'm glad you're still listening to me saying that. Maybe you'll take the advice. God, these trolls that are so butthurt when I rant about what the losers should do with themselves. I don't know why you guys are so upset about that. Take the advice. 347.
Hey, Zach, it's Mr. Scott.
It's Mr. Scott?
Yeah, it is Mr. Scott.
Hey, thanks for all your donations over the years, Mr. Scott.
No problem, Zach. I just have something quick. The same thing happened to me, Zach. So about the last caller, because I'm a veteran as well. I was in like I was just how like the VA group they let us go in sometimes to sign up for, and I was like, the end of the session happened. You get to, if you choose to stay on, you can kind of like talk to other people, and I was just bringing up some like Gematria, just other things that goes on, like what happened to us in the military, like the symptoms that we have is. And what was really odd was when I had started like bringing up I had like Jesuit or anything off the call, the video chat cut off immediately. Like my phone just had like stopped like just working, and it was just the weirdest thing. It never happened before like that. It just like as soon as I had brought up that type of information, my phone just kind of like just went off on the PA stuff. So I just thought that was strange as well. That was kind of really weird. It never happened before.
Yeah, I've had similar things happen, and it's a reminder that these devices are listening to us, and it ties in with how we get the ads. And I told them the story the other day about how a sweet lady said, "Hey, should I get my friend Vera a bottle of wine?" And then I got some just weird random text that said, "Hey, it's Vera with the wine." I was just like, "What in the hell?"
Yeah, man. Zach, I've been doing what you told me over the years, like to kind of get some of that poison out of my body as well from those migraines, and changing up my diet as well. And I always try to support you as much of that information. When I first came out the military, I was all banged up, and they just kept trying to give me medication. And I was starting to research the medication, and I told research it. But some of the medication they give us from the VA is just theories. It just it's nothing backed up on it. Just hate taking it. If it makes you feel good, it's okay. And a lot of the stuff they give us eventually make us commit suicide over the years.
Well, again, that's another reason I tell people to not join the military, is because they treat military personnel like guinea pigs. I mean, look at all the stories over the years from what they did in the time of Vietnam, experimenting with, the chemical warfare, all the stories out of Iraq and Afghanistan about the tainted water they were using at the military bases that some people showered in and drank from. I mean, it's sick how that's what they do to the people who sign up to fight for the country. They treat them like lab rats. So.
Yeah, it's you're right about that, because
I just had to, like, I was like, man, what is going on here? Because when I first came out, I was taking the medication, and my migraines, I was feeling like really bad, like just like totally exhausted, headache. I felt like I didn't want to go work out. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stop taking this stuff right here. And eventually I just started over it. About a year or two, I started to feel way better. I cut a lot of meat out as well, you know, and I just started to feel better when I took your advice from that. And you know, you're right. It's like a slow poison side. I'm not telling what all type of, I got a story real quick before I go to that. When I went to basic training, my group was like an experimental group. So it was like a group to see how fast you can graduate. So I remember I was 21 at the time. I remember going up to like the line, they was giving us these drinks. And I was like, and I asked the drill sergeant, I'm like, what's inside this drink? You know, it's kind of like, man, he's like, it's energy drink. But I remember when I drank the drink, I kind of felt really bad. But I noticed also that I was able to recover fast. I had twisted my ankle, and like a day or two, I was good to go. And I just thought, you know, I just always thought it was kind of weird that they were just giving us stuff that kind of gave us a boost. But when you get out the Army, you don't have that boost anymore, Zach. You just start your body to deteriorate really fast. It's almost like like the serve or something that it was giving us. Crazy.
That's interesting. Yeah. How old are you, Mr. Scott?
Go again, sir?
How old are you?
I'll be 32 in March.
32. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I wanted to tell you that story before, but I don't try to, you know, stay on the line as long. But I do remember a lot of stuff from the frequency wave thing was another crazy one. I looked into more of that, about how they was putting these towers. So you do PT, and they'll put these towers behind you. It look like cell phone towers, though. But every place you do PT at, they're right. They always near beside you. And all of us will always complain about headaches. I was like, man, you know, I was talking to my battle buddy, you know, we call each other. Like, man, you know, I like, man. And Fort Stewart was the worst with migraines. Like, that's why I really started noticing like getting headaches was from the military post called Fort Stewart. They had a whole bunch of these towers around. And you just hear like this small pulsating noise. And man, you just start feeling sick and nauseated. And then, you know, you go to the medical center, like, hey, I got these headaches. And they was like, oh, it's normal. I'm like, that's not normal to have these type of headaches. A lot of us are getting it. You know, but you're a soldier, you don't ask no questions. You know, you trained us to keep moving on. Don't ask no questions.
Right. Right. Soldier mentality. Yeah. Well, you know, do take good care of yourself and do as much research as possible just on ways to cleanse the body and get out harmful metals, because we all have a lot of that in us. And you being in the infantry and opened even more experimentation and whatever jabs they gave you. I mean, you know,
yeah,
all the more reason to do.
The job for me was when I was near like the Syrian border, and it was right beside like a burn pit area. Like they had like so you would be on like the states like a little small fob and like in Jordan, and they have like a trash pile, like where they dump their trash at, you can see it. And then we'll go shoot like AK-47s on top of it sometimes. And like you would notice that like it's just a lot of stuff happens to you though, that it's so quick, and the stuff that's inside your body is so quick, it doesn't really affect you while you're in. It's always so strange. It always affects you when you get out. It hit all of us at one time. It's like maybe by design. Like you feel good, and then as soon as you see ETS from the military, you start feeling really bad. It's so strange.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. But what I'm glad to hear is that some of your ailments are getting better, man. So stay on that path.
Yeah, I hope they come out. I'm trying to make a YouTube channel as well, though, Zach. I'm looking into how to get it started in my first channel. Cause I was listening to your conversation. Why I want to call in. I'm trying to get better at Gematria. But you're right. You know, it's not right for you to keep doing everything by yourself. While I can donate, but I'm not helping as much as I'm not.
You don't need to donate anymore, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, you don't need to donate anymore. Just like I've told Sarah Sutherland in the past and others, you guys don't need to donate anymore because you've donated a lot. All I ask people to do is donate $1 a month. I mean, there should be enough people out in the world that understand what I'm trying to do that should have $1 a month for the work. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I always been like that because I remember, man, I first got you on YouTube. I was in a dark place, and I was like, "What is this?" Because I was looking up 9/11. I was trying to find 9/11 documentaries. I used to watch it when I was 18 years old, and YouTube had deleted all those. Your channel had popped up. I was like, "What is this?" Because I was like, and I watched a couple of your videos. Like, man, he's right. Like, why am I like black exploit? That's where I really started to wake up to like, man, it's not like black culture. It's kind of like it's black exploit. I'm being exploited for an agenda. Like they don't really care about me like that. And I just started looking at more like the holidays, Martin Luther King. And I called my mom like, bro, we've been kind of like bamboozled into like this white versus black for too long. It's all a game. It's all rigged up. The game is rigged against us.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like this MLK weekend, they got to kill Yo Gotti's brother in Memphis. It's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, I do get a lot of flack though. I do, about the hip hop thing, I think it's like the most touchiest subject I get into people with. And some reason, like the hip hop conversations, like is a conversation they don't really want to get into. It's like you could talk about, maybe like shootings, gun wars. When you start talking about hip hop, it's like something triggers inside of us that makes us like very hostile towards the idea that it can all just be like, it's a facade for us. And I'm like, man, it's just we're looking in your face like we celebrating like anniversary of hip hop, right, Zach? And I'm like, name us how many rappers are dead? Like, how can we be celebrating hip hop anniversary? Most of the rappers are dead. That makes no sense.
Right. Yeah.
You're pretty much celebrating death. You're celebrating the anniversary of death.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway, Zach, I appreciate it. I know other people got to call in and stuff. I just want to touch bases, just tell you how I was doing. I appreciate everything you've done for me and the community as well. So,
well, you're welcome. And also, I am serious that you don't need to donate anymore because you've donated a ton in the time you've been here. And again, I do appreciate your generosity. But yeah, make sure you got that rainy day fund too, man, because I think hard days are ahead for all of us. So.
One more thing, Zach, before you go. What about the rain day and stuff? I'm gonna look into more of this. Have you ever heard I know with Gematria, I'm looking at some like the old world stuff as well, like ain't like our past civilization. I was gonna ask you a question, Zach, about this. Do you think like the calendar system is a Catholic calendar? Did you ever think that they added an extra 1,000 years to the calendar, like to throw off the way our time is?
I think probably everything about history has been distorted, and I mean it's hard to know look at what they do to us every day. Every day we just get more lies. So I mean, it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I was using Gematria with a couple of that too, and it wasn't like you. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna ask Zach about this, but it seemed like when you try to look past like towards 1800 stuff, like going back like a little bit far, things kind of get muddy, but. Anyway, it's another story for another day. Thank you, though, Zach. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome. You have a good day, Mr. Scott. For the person in the chat saying, am I aware of the dead coach? I have a video up on it, and it's also right on the screen in front of you. That's the dead coach right there. That's Niles Decode on Free to Find Truth about it. Again, he's dead the day of the Disease X simulation. You can check out my video earlier, how it reminds us of what happened on March 11th, 2020. And again, he's dead at age 46, 89 days before his birthday when virus equals here. I mean, look at the Gematria virus. There's Kate Keeland, who's got the new book about Disease X, but virus 46, 89. You know what else? Today has 26 date numerology to add to it. He's dead at age 46, 89 days before his birthday on 26 date numerology, the day of the Disease X virus meeting that the World Economic Forum is putting on. And again, it's called Preparing for Disease X is the name of the simulation. The Utah Jazz game is canceled today because of it. Utah Jazz 113, just like coronavirus pandemic, just like the National Basketball Association, just how they locked it down March 11th back in 2020. What's up, 281?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hey, Zach. Yeah, so I just want to touch on like one thing here. And I'm looking at who I think is really looking like the next vice president pick for Trump. Ramaswamy, have you done? And
well, we just talked about how he ended his campaign 159 days after his birthday, after Trump won by the numbers when Donald Trump equals 159. So, I mean, wouldn't it make sense?
Yeah, and did you know that he went to a Catholic high school that in Wikipedia it says it has ties to the Jesuit order?
And his birthday's August 9th, the day leaving 144 days left in the year, like the election's 144 days after Trump's birthday. So Vivek went to a Catholic high school, though. Is that what you just said? I didn't know that part. I didn't realize his high school. Let me see.
Yeah, it's like St. Xavier High School or something like that. And also that August 9th birthday, it's 56 days after Trump's birthday. And he's a Hindu, and Hindu equals 56. He's weird he went to Catholic high school, but he's a Hindu.
Yeah, he did go to a Jesuit school. Xavier's the Jesuit University in Cincinnati. He went to St. Xavier High School.
Yeah, and as I said, yeah, you got the 56 with Hindu, and his birthday to election day is 88 days. And also, it would be 21 years because if I recall correctly, he graduated in 2003. So that would be 21 years since his graduation. And as we know, Jesuit's 21. It's also like interesting how he's 38 because, I don't know if you were seeing it, but in the news when Trump was pulled off that Colorado ballot, he was in there defending Trump. And he took his name off the ballot too in protest. And you know how that was 308 days from election day. And you already know election in Colorado had the 38. But yeah, it is weird that he's 38 years old and not doing all that.
Yeah, good observations. But if that is the route they go, it makes a lot of sense, and it just goes to show how perfectly synced it all is. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if you want, if anyone here is like listening, I usually don't like it when people self-promote, but my name is Sam the Shroom Man. You'll see me in the chat. I have the Daredevil profile picture. I just posted a couple videos on YouTube regarding the election and the Super Bowl. But if anybody thinks that's interesting, then they can check it out. But yeah, and yeah, I just couldn't help but like listen to as you were saying about all these like people like that Destiny guy. It's just like it's so weird how these these YouTubers. I think so many of them now are definitely employed by the cabal.
It's just obvious. And again, it's Jesuits. I mean, where did he go? Destiny. I mean, yesterday, I hate that his streams just show up in my feed, but I was like, I had to click in and he's got some like girl in the background as a prop with big boobs. And then he's lecturing somebody else about body shaming her. I'm like, dude, you're using a woman as a prop in your background. And then where did he go? Jesuit Prep, Creighton Prep. And again, it's like, why is this guy famous? He's not interesting. He's super boring. He does promote all the mainstream agendas. I get why they'd use him that way, but he's all down for the jabs. And yeah, I mean, it's just, he's just another mouthpiece. But just, it makes me sick that online, like once upon a time, it felt like online was going to be the solution to the world's problems. And you just see it's not, because it's just as controlled as everything else is. So it drives me nuts. But anyway, man.
Yeah, all people want is entertainment, so.
Yeah, and this guy's not, but that's the thing, that like a guy like Destiny is not even entertaining. I mean, he's super boring, I mean, he's a turd. He's there to create the illusion that anybody can become famous online. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Yeah, just another loser.
He is. Yeah, later. Yeah, you can play StarCraft and get famous. What's up, 404?
Hey, Zach, how you doing, man?
Yeah, what's up?
I see where your passion is as far as providing the information to everybody. And, we've talked over the past couple of weeks. I've been calling you about props. I'm on your Patreon.
Yes.
Here, and I missed your live stream today.
Make sure you watch today's live stream. I think we cracked the Super Bowl today.
Yeah, and, I've been focusing mainly on props, player props, using Gematria.
Did you hit on Mr. Moore for the Bucks?
Did I hit on who?
The guy who paid a lot on Monday Night Football. Moore.
I always play the props on the list we get.
Okay, he was the silver lining of Monday. He was the long shot that had the good narrative to score for his 15th career touchdown. Again, there was a gentleman who had really long odds to score on Monday Night Football. MNF's 15, like Tampa. It was 15 date numerology. It was the 15th of the month, and he did get his 15th career touchdown.
Well, the focus has been NFL and NBA, and I'm really trying to convince my family that we're not just sitting around making picks and coincidentally what you picked is what came out, because they're not. They listen to the live stream. Remember, I called in the other day about Bryant making a touchdown, and you're like, he doesn't get targeted a whole lot. I don't think he's going to get it. And then we looked into it a little more. Yeah, that'd be good if he got the first touchdown, right? While you were streaming, the game started. They threw to him at the 3-yard line, and he got tackled on the 1. And my family's like, oh, come on, this is it's coincidental. Da, 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 da. It doesn't work. Leave that stuff alone. The work. I'm explaining to them like, no, maybe he tripped or, you know what I'm saying? But the plan definitely was him to get into the end zone. He was on the 3. We was all in the chat. If you look at the chat back when on that day that the Steelers played, you'll see the chat was like going crazy over it because we was watching it as we were live streaming. But anyway, I picked out some, like I told you, I don't know anything about NHL. So I went and picked out some NHL props, and I've been hitting on NHL props past couple of days.
Yeah, it's just sad how most of those family are like yours, though, and think it's all a coincidence. Like, no, it's not. Look at the high percentage that we hit on all these things. It's just people.
Exactly.
Yeah, people are brain dead, man. I'm sorry not to diss your own family. It's just most people are brain dead. So
I've never even watched a hockey game. I don't watch the games I've been doing the prop picks on, and they've been hit. You know, I'm showing my fans, but they're like, "Oh, it's coincidental." This and the other, but I got one today, man. I wanted you to take a look at, but if this is not the right time, then I guess I have to pass on it. But can I have you look at one?
well, I'm not doing sports right now, but you can throw out there whatever you like.
I don't want to disrespect your platform, but if you can get a chance into looking into Perone, he's a hockey player. He's been in the league for a long time, I think. They're playing in Florida, and he can get his if he scores 3 goals tonight, which he did 42 weeks ago, he can get his 305 score in the 305 area.
I see. Well, that would have, you don't have to bet a lot on that. A hat trick pays a lot of money if that happens.
It plays a whole lot, and the date numerology is in his name numerology 171.
Okay.
Or, you know,
I see 17/1. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea. Like I said, I know nothing about NHL. And I'm like, maybe this guy, he's been in the league for a while. Maybe that's somebody they use for a lot of rituals. So I just happened to type in when he scored 3 goals. The last time he scored 3 goals in a game, it was exactly 42 weeks ago. Today's numerology is 42. And then I was like, I looked a little deeper. I was like, I typed in his name in Masonic rituals. And the thing that popped up, his son is named Mason.
Huh.
I was like, wow, you know. And then if you look a little deeper into the numerology of the day that he hit the 3 goals in, there's some similarities into today's numerology. 33 is a number that comes up in the Gematrinator as a number for today. It'll be his 33rd goal. His first one will be his 33rd goal. And there were some, 63 is a part of his name. Numerology comes up twice. And then 36 is part of the day numerology of the last time he did it, and then it comes up twice. I don't know. I don't have nobody to talk to about these things, so I need somebody to pull me back. Say, hey man, you reaching too much, you know.
Well, it sounds like right now you're figuring it out. Like you said, you're hitting on him. So it's just like when you called in about that one player that I was like, well, he doesn't get a lot of touches or looks. So I mean, that'd be a great call. I mean, it's a small bet for the big reward, maybe. But yeah, that I didn't realize that he nearly had it. He went down at the 1. Yeah, we've seen that happen before. It's like, man, was that not quite right with the script? But anyway, but yeah, I mean, again, it's just like you look at the guy who paid 10-1, Mr. Moore, in that game. It's like, okay, yeah, he has a long shot, but man, does he have a damn good narrative with the 15, with all the 15s on this game? And sure enough, he had it. And again, so
I was trying to call you back and like, man, they're watching the live stream, man. They threw the ball to him on the 3. He made it to the 1 and fell at the 1. I was like, oh god.
Well, hey, just keep practicing with the knowledge, and you'll just get better with time. But it sounds like you're already doing well, so keep it up.
Yeah, it's doing good. I'm part of your Patreon, but I'm gonna have to get some more funds together. I'm gonna make sure I give you something else, you know, every time I call in.
Yeah, and it's just like the other week. I know you called in with number 18 on Pittsburgh to get his 25th touchdown versus the Ravens, and Ravens 25. Sure enough, he did. This week he had the riddle for the 27th touchdown versus Buffalo, and sure enough, he did. So
yeah.
That's why I like to stick to things like.
I figured I'd stick with the player props.
I always like to look at are the guys like, you know, key players on the team that get receptions or rushes and touches, and do they have the numbers? I mean, I always look for both of those variables because then I feel good about it. So
Right, and this guy, like I said, I don't know nothing about hockey, but this guy's been in the league for a long time, and he just got traded to a new team. This is his 33rd game with the new team.
Well, hey, those all right. It's got a shot, man. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, small play for the big reward.
That's what I call you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Work out, but it's been working out, man. I see the struggle that you have, and you have so much information just fall off. It comes right to you. For me, it's a whole lot harder to convince somebody. I've even had people sit down and watch your live streams with me, and you can just tell after the first few minutes they're just not even into it. So I can't save everybody, but
most people just don't have enough processing power in their brains is the problem, man. And so you do.
Yeah, man. This has definitely changed my life, man. I look at things a whole lot differently now. Anybody who doubts it, these people that spend their time trying to go against what you're doing, I don't understand their motivation. Like it's
because here's think about what the motivation be. The motivation would be from the people who don't want this information being exposed, and I guarantee that's who's behind these trolls that sit here and waste their time.
Right. Yeah, man. But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. You opened my eyes, woke me up. I was one of these people walking around here claiming to be woke, until it's just been a couple of months actually. I discovered your community. So life is changing, man. And
that's a big testament that you're already figuring it out and doing things on your own. You've only been here a couple of months. So just imagine after you've been doing it a couple of years.
Right. Yeah, man. I really appreciate what you're doing, man. If you charge $150 for your Patreon, I'd be a part of it, man. Because
I never will. There's a lot of people who've told me to raise the price over the years, and I recently did because I just always charge $5, and for the live streams now it's $11. But I probably won't ever raise it again. 11's enough. So.
And your chat is valuable. Just being able to have a community of people sharing.
Well, you should have been here in the past because see, we used to have a really good chat, but then I took a break a while back, and I told all the best people to go out and make their own Patreons, and I'd promote them, and I did. So a lot of the other good people in the community now, they're not in my chat anymore because they're doing their own thing. So there are some other good people out there to also check out and see how they decode and what their favorite things are. But yeah, once upon a time, they used to all be in every live stream. And I kind of miss those days, but there's other good people always coming up just like you. So
it's a lot of work decoding, and what you're doing is amazing because I could just imagine, the brain power it takes every day to keep up what you're doing, man. So anything you need, I just recently moved to Seattle, so I'm in the Seattle area now. And but anything you need, man. Public appearances, you need some backup, hey, I'll be there, man. Because
you're in the Seattle area? You're in the Seattle area?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll meet in person then, because I do go out to Seattle. I haven't been out there since September. I was there for the opening day of the NFL season, telling the Seahawks why they were going to lose to Matt Stafford and get his 94th career win. And we were out there that day and telling them because the next day was that's the last time I was out there, the day before the college basketball champ. Or no, never mind. We were out there in April and then in September. I was out there the day before the college championship, and we were talking why UConn was going to win the next day. But I'll be back out in Seattle when the weather gets better. So.
Yeah, I'm here, man, and whatever you need, man. Whatever you need, I'm there.
All right, we'll meet up in the near future. All right, good hearing from you, man. You have a good day.
All right, thanks, bro.
Yeah, see you. He's in Seattle with the Atlanta area code, huh? Okay. Yeah, we'll see, man. The NFL Super Bowl might surprise people this year. It might surprise people. I think we figured out some really interesting things today. So, yeah, so anyway, you guys are just tuning in. It's kind of a free-for-all live stream. I can't do the normal TFR tonight, so we're just streaming right now. And I've been ranting a little bit about the things I'm annoyed about, and we've taken some calls, and some have certainly been better than others. What's up, 860?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing?
Doing all right.
Just
one quick thing, because I don't have a ton of time, about this Warriors coach that just died. Today is a 62 and 42 date numerology, and just because the Warriors are out of San Francisco, I think that there's a possible connection to the Super Bowl, especially since it's so close and the 49ers are right there. I think it being a 62 date numerology is interesting because if the Niners win the Super Bowl, they can become 6-2 in Super Bowls all time, and the Super Bowl's on the 42nd day of the year this year.
That's true.
What was it, the Golden State Warriors or whatever? It was 277 days after his birthday, right?
Yeah.
That's the 59th prime.
That's right. Warriors is 59.
From the 49ers coach's birthday to the Super Bowl, it's 59 days. That was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Again, he's dead at 46 on a 62 date numerology, and we know where those numbers go together too. They're straight from the Bible. Sacrifice equals 46 forward, 62 in reverse, and Torah equals 62. Again, it's the 46th verse of the Torah that begins with a sacrifice. So.
Yep, absolutely. Well, appreciate your work, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully one day people wake the hell up, but not holding out hope.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, man. Appreciate the observations. Thank you.
Yep. All
right, take care. And again, you guys, today's simulation, again, the fact that this happens and it involves the Warriors and the Jazz are part of the ritual when they locked down the NBA with COVID. And then again, that was right after event 201 by the World Economic Forum. Today is exactly 201 months later. And they're doing this Disease X thing, and there's this book out about Disease X by Kate Keeland, whose name is 201. I mean, it's like, come on. And again, preparing for Disease X is the name of the meeting today, which is 113. Utah Jazz are involved in this game where the coach died, so they canceled the game. Utah Jazz 113. The National Basketball Association 113. You remember the official name of the cooties, right? Coronavirus Pandemic 113, March 11th, 11/3, 113, this number from the Talmud, a number of deception. We got that long list of 113s that we've gone over so many times. But yeah, what are the odds it would involve the same, team, this game that gets canceled? It's deja vu. And again, Utah Jazz, they're the only team in the league with the full 113. They were going to play the Warriors today. Utah Jazz 113, whereas Golden State Warriors is 117, and today's 117. And again, it's all by the numbers. It's all by the numbers, perfectly synced up with their preparing for Disease X. And then the fact the dude dies from a heart attack when this same media has been telling you about how the phantom heart disease is coming that's going to take a lot of lives over the next 5 years, as they told you 2 years ago. And then Google's been censoring everybody for calling it out. Bill Gates told you what the whole plan was in 2010, 2010, at his TED Talk, Innovating to Zero. And Innovating to Zero. You see how Innovating to Zero has that 82? Just like COVID, just like Seattle. Remember, that's where the first confirmed case was in the world outside of mainland China. And then Pfizer's 82, and we just talked about that author Harlan Coben, who went to school with Dan Brown, who wrote the Da Vinci Code series about the Illuminati, and he just happened to put out that book, Fool Me Once, about the killer pharmaceutical company covering up their deadly drugs side effects by murdering people. Puts it out on the 82nd day of the leap year, March 22nd, 2016. Then Merck is putting out a pill for COVID with the 82 on the side of it, and then it gets approved by the FDA on 82 date numerology. And we still got people's families going, oh man, you don't want to know about that Gematria. I don't know about that. Just go out and get your shot. You guys, that's why people deserve to get murked. And all my trolls can keep crying about it. Oh, Zach's just as bad. He wants the same thing to happen. Yeah, I want it to happen for different reasons. I want it to happen because I realize that having a flock of sheep for humanity as the populace, they're all going to drag us all into the trap together. They're going to be out, just, if you don't understand where I'm coming from, you're part of the problem as far as I'm concerned. So. All right. Shout out to Jehovah's Thickness. Have you considered doing airborne ads, trailing decode behind a plane? How much would that cost? We can look at how much that costs. I doubt I have the funds to pay for the plane to do the cloud message. Gematria, hashtag Gematria in the sky. 812. Hey, you got to mute your video.
Yes, sir. Got it. Yes, sir.
You're on.
Hey, Zach. Hey, I've been following you since Crow, and I think we've had some decent callers.
Did you say since Crow 777?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened, but man, all of a sudden he stopped talking to me too. I don't even. He used to have me on the show all the time when he first started it. But yeah, go ahead.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and Crow got to be scripted. You know, everything he said, it almost seemed like he's reading. I'm like, Zach's off the cuff. I mean, there's no getting around that. He's off the cuff. And you know, I'm gonna reiterate what some of these other people have said too. You have changed my life. You know, I went from somebody who went unsure. I thought I was woke, Nephilim, this and that, and there may still be, but you woke me up, and you changed my life, and you know, praise you for it. You know, just like one of the last callers, and on how we can silence help. I think we need to get together in each state. I know in Indiana, I know we had up there Fort Wayne. Right now, it's slipping my tongue. But he got together, and I haven't been able to get that. I'm a referee, so I'm also pretty busy, but I'm going to cut back. So now I can do more, or actually enjoy things a little bit better rather than be working all the time. But I think to help fight this, each state has to get together. We got to get grouped. Let's say Indianapolis. I'm close to Indianapolis. You know, we got to get out there at least once a year is better than no times a year. You know,
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I wish we had a strong group in every major city, and just doing something at least once a month, getting out in the city, just get out the message, wake people up about the latest thing that people need to have their eyes on.
And yeah, because this the only time I get to talk like this is if I call in. You know, I can't talk like this to anybody else about what's really going on because the first thing they say is, "Oh, stop! You're making my brain hurt." You know? Kind of like riding a bike. You haven't used that muscle in a long time. It's going to get a little sore. You know, people are crazy. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to do that, but I think that's getting anybody to commit to anything and get anything done. You know, people got their own life going on, and I understand, but at some point we gotta stand up and do something. It's crazy.
All right, how far are you from Fort Wayne, Indiana?
I'm about 2.5, 3 hours.
All right, I know Richard Quinn goes out in Fort Wayne, but he's also explained that it's become a ghost town since COVID. So.
Oh, okay. What I like to do to try to wake people up is like even use Prince. Prince is a good one to wake people up because a lot of people love Prince. I mean, who doesn't? You know, being his birthday, I would die for you. Queen's birthday is like,
yeah.
Then his tie to Vanity and Buffalo, like, or you know, Canada or whatever it is, and Niagara Falls. Like, this is a coincidence.
Yeah, that's a great example. Prince and Kobe are both good ones.
I think one of the more powerful ones is the World War I.
The license
how
plate
that happened and why we're in the shape we are now.
Sure. The license plate of Franz Ferdinand with the date of the end of the war. I mean, that should get a lot of people thinking.
Yeah. I remember looking that up one time after you said that, but it's one of the things I've forgotten since I haven't repeated it. Yep, I'm gonna look back at that just so I can refresh myself.
Yeah, his license plate. For people who don't know, Franz Ferdinand, who supposedly his assassination supposedly would set off World War I, he was in a car, and the license plate on the car is the date that World War I ended. The number on the plate.
Wild stuff. Here locally in Indiana, just up my hometown, they have a special building, or it's a building. 201 building. What a coincidence.
Yeah, indeed.
Then Paul Logan was an athletic director here in, I think, North Central Indianapolis. He was one of the first ones to die, I think, here in Indiana, that from the pandemic. You know, he wore the number 40. He went to my school, which is just right up the road where the room 201, so where the 201 is. And he went to my school. He's older than me, and he wore the number 47. His brother, I graduated with, he wore the number 56. Strange.
Yeah.
Like, how you guys doing this shit?
Yeah. Life is strange, stranger than fiction.
Yeah, sorry, Zach, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't. I was just saying, life's stranger than fiction, man.
And remember that train wreck in Ohio? I got several notes here. I'm just going to go over them here, but I don't lose track. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around. That train wreck in Ohio, that's nonsense.
Palestine, yeah. And then you end up later that year having the big thing happen in Israel. So go figure.
You know, there's a weird thing that happened. My neighbor, just 3 houses down from me, he got hit. He always walked his dog over there. And this guy, a few years ago, showed up out of the blue. And I guess it's possible. But he got hit by a train, and this guy wasn't a complete idiot. I mean, how do you get hit by a train?
By the way, I forget. I don't know if I ever ended up sharing this, but from the East Palestine, Ohio incident to the war in Israel beginning was 247 days, like how the U.S. is 247 years old and the Illuminati. So go figure.
Yeah. No kidding. Then you remember the shooter in the Greenwood Mall. I suppose there's somebody shot an AR-15. He shot the guy, Eli Dickinson. Eli Dickinson, yeah. Elijah Dickinson. I don't know if you did a video. I think maybe Derek did. I can't remember if you did or not. But the very next day, this is a girl I work with. Her son was killed in a drive-by shooting on the interstate, on Interstate 70, while they were driving. He gets shot. His name is Eli Hickerson. He got killed on 70. Both names, Eli Hickerson, Dion Kimbrough, the supposed shooter, and Carthage, Indiana, where Eli's from, all equals 70. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. What are the odds? What are the odds?
That's just one of the things I want to share, Zach. I think those are all interesting things. But those are some points I use to try to help people learn. But it's a lot of times people stop you, and at least in my thing, they stop you. My brain's hurting. I understand it, but just keep listening.
Yeah.
Everything here is fact.
A lot of people can only handle like one number pattern, and then once you switch over to the second number, you see like the deer in the headlights look. So
I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Zach. Hey, I appreciate what you do, man. I hope we get somewhere sometime. And if you ever need me, try to get something going on here, I will. But I don't know anybody around here. I don't know anybody else who speaks with Gematria, at least locally. It's a lot easier to talk to somebody face to face than it is through a text or an email or something like that, because you don't know who you're talking to. Like,
yeah.
You've been putting your face on since then.
Yeah. Again, that's why I do host that website, freetofindtruth.com. You can also get the app through the Mighty App Network. The app's free. The website's free to use. And again, it does have a way, if you fill in the information, you don't have to put out your real name if you don't want to, but you can put out your real city, and then you can look at who's on the website from there, and you can message them and try to start a correspondence. And again, I know a lot of us do feel isolated. That's why I'm trying to help people network for people who care about the knowledge. So,
yep.
So thought.
Yeah, I'll look up at that app. I haven't done it, but that's what I'll do.
All right. Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. Yeah. Take care. And just to remind you guys, from Israel's establishment anniversary, May 14th, to the East Palestine, Ohio incident was the 266th day of Israel's age, and East Palestine, Ohio is 266, like how we're in the time of the 266th Pope, and the Jesuit motto, "Isu Somnum Salvator," is 266. Again, meanwhile, Destiny with his latest irrelevant bullshit has got 50,000 viewers, but still nobody knows about this. What's up, 347?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I just turned onto this stream. I don't know if you talked about this, all right.
You remember on the sports screen, you talking about the Warriors game got postponed. You see the coach died of a heart attack. You see that, right?
Yeah, we definitely. I put out a short video before this stream, and again, I just keep making the point that it happens the day of the preparing for Disease X, and once again, you got a game canceled with the Utah Jazz, just like how they shut down the NBA with the Jazz on March 11th back in 2020, and all the same numbers are there again. So.
Okay, so since I just caught the screen, you might have talked about this, and I probably missed it. If you talk about the royal family, how they got health problems and shit too, Prince Charles and Kate and all that shit.
I saw some headline about how King Charles has to get some minor surgery. It sounds like for some kind of small cancer or something like that.
And Kate had abdomen surgery or something like that.
I missed that story, but okay.
Yeah, so you got those two stories to go with the dog that the assistant coach died of a heart attack.
Yeah, it's
the assistant coach probably died for those championships. Probably it's time to pay up.
Yeah, that very well could be. Again, he's dead at age 46, 89 days before his birthday. Again, virus equals 46 and 89, and that's what they're having the preparing for Disease X virus thing today. And then it's dead at 46 on a 62 date numerology as well, when those are the sacrifice numbers. So just familiar patterns.
How many wins does the Golden State Warriors? What's their record right now? The Warriors. What's their record right now?
Let's see. They are 18 and 22. They've played 40 games.
Is any significance in those numbers?
Well, we know 22 is a big basketball number and 18 is a big IHS number, but I don't really see how it factors in with his heart attack right now. So.
Okay. All right. That's it. I just caught this score.
But the other thing that stands out about it happening today is Golden State Warriors equals 117, like today's 117. So.
Okay, so I just wanted to hit those quick points.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Country Grammar. That's a big $20 bill. I appreciate your generosity very much. And thank you, Carla Hernandez, who said, just because, with the smile. I appreciate it. Thank you, Carla. 772.
Hey, Zach, what's up?
Oh, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. So I found something out pretty interesting. I don't know if you've ever covered it before. But do you know that during Prohibition in the 30s, that the government poisoned the alcohol with methanol to kill people, to discourage people from drinking?
I never knew that.
Yeah, you can look it up. It's something that the government did back in the 30s. I think in 1933. Also, it kind of reminded me of something like more recently. There was also something else that you can look up. It wasn't the government supposedly doing it, but I mean, it probably was, but there's no proof of it. But a lot of the hand sanitizer during, the COVID thing was poisoned with methanol. Methanol is like extremely toxic and it absorbs through your skin. They were using it instead of isopropanol. And it was making people sick. It was even like blinding people and stuff because methanol is really toxic. And there's some other stuff. Today it's mostly calling in with like the toxic chemicals. But something else I found out recently is that a lot of people that have like candles, like scented candles, not like essential oils, but like the ones that people get from like Bath and Body Works and stuff, they're made out of petroleum, and the scents, all the scents that they use for those are like, they're not regulated by the FDA or anything. And a lot of them are toxic, and people that have birds like canaries or whatever, all those birds, when people light those scented candles, it kills the birds. Those scents actually kill the birds, which it means that they're like definitely toxic. And there's a lot of people saying that like they worked at those stores and they got like it made them start getting headaches for like years. They would get migraines for like years because of those scented candles. So like if people have those, you probably want to get rid of those because they are toxic. And I actually know how to make some of the chemicals, and a lot of them are made from like benzene and a lot of other toxic petroleum distillates. And also, there's something else. If you guys get food that says that it has sodium bisulfate in it, you can look it up. Sodium bisulfate is toxic. It causes skin irritation, and it actually can cause asthma. And they put it inside the food, and that's something that people will want to avoid. And also, somebody else earlier was talking. I think Mr. Scott was talking about the hip hop.
Just a heads up. Hold on. Just a heads up. For some, I don't know if it's like hacked when I get doing this, but the computer is doing this really weird thing. And historically, when it does this, the computer crashes at some point. And so if the computer crashes, I'll just like the live stream will probably go black, but I'll just restart the computer and I can usually get back on. Okay, go ahead.
How much RAM do you have in your computer?
I forget, but there should be more than enough to do a live stream.
Oh, really? Maybe it just sometimes the computer fills up with RAM and it just freezes. Sometimes that happens to me on my computers with lower RAM. Yeah. What?
The first time it ever happened was right after Super Bowl 55, and it was the best live stream we ever had because we had like 6,000 people in here, and then it kept happening after that. But lately, when this happens, usually when I come back, it still works. So we'll see.
Yeah, when you have an Apple computer, usually Apple computers, how they work is that they basically are controlled by Apple's HQ. Like they're directly. You can't really see like Apple can send commands and stuff to your computer, and you can't really see them or anything. And they basically have full control. You can even all Apple computers, they have a list of every file that you've ever downloaded. On the computer, you can actually look at that file and delete it and stuff, but it's on there. I don't have Apple. Ever since I changed out my phone from just a normal Android to my own operating system, I haven't had a problem with them spying on what I'm saying. Anyway, to get back on topic, Mr. Scott was talking about the how hip hop, like the modern hip hop, and I totally agree with him about the hip hop. I can't stand like modern hip hop music. Like it's just trash, and it really annoys me whenever it comes on. And basically all it's about now is it's like just about taking pills. Like look at like any hip hop song from like the past 10 years. They're just all about taking pills and let me pop a Zanny and all that shit. And what I thought was interesting about that is that now it's basically like what drugs do they want people on? It's not about taking like LSD or mushrooms or whatever. It's like let's take the pharmaceuticals. And like Xanax basically like just makes you dead inside, and like they just want everybody like medicated and passive. You have people with like the Xanax eyes that they're like just like totally dead inside. And that's probably what they've been. It makes people complacent. That's why they've been trying to get everybody on all the pharmaceuticals and stuff. They've had all these people on pharmaceuticals since like the 50s. But have you ever tried LSD before?
Yeah, but I've never had good LSD, so I can't really give that great of a review of it. I just prefer the very natural magic mushrooms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. I tried the mushrooms, and it was okay. I didn't really have much of an experience because I didn't take enough, but I didn't really have any like spiritual revelations or anything. I probably just had to take more. But yeah, I also people an announcement: double up buckshot's like really cheap now. It's like $5 for a cartridge of buckshot. So if people want to get their hands on that, now's the time.
Okay.
But I just wanted to tell you also if you found stuff that like works for you, like on your channel, like if people like drama or like people like like you confronting people and yelling at people on the street and stuff. I mean, I know that might not be what you want to do, but if that's really what brings it in, I mean, you have to change up what you're doing if it's not successful, because otherwise you're just gonna go crazy, just doing the same thing, and it's just like not working, and you just keep getting worse and stuff. I think that you should just change up what you're doing, just try new things and do new stuff if what you're doing is not working, to get people. Ultimately, everything that we do is kind of a choice, and like even like the thing that you have with Sweet Lady. I mean, I'm not saying that you should, ignore her and just go and do whatever you want, but like ultimately, like it's just a choice of whether you want to go and do that stuff. That was something that I realized a while ago. That's very powerful. Is that almost all the limits that we have are all choices that we can choose to ignore or not ignore. But yeah, if that's my advice to you is, if something's working, I think that you should definitely stick to it, and that'll probably help you out a lot. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? That your channel like just continues to go down the same route. So like doing something different won't hurt.
Yeah, I think about it often. I also remember when doing this was very effective and growing rapidly, but I don't know if there's anything I can do at this point, because my name, like the one guy called in and said earlier, he said, you say my name anywhere on the online, it seems that there's censorship and automatic trolling, like it's built into the algorithm of the web, which is true from what I've seen too. It's like you can't mention my name on Reddit without getting attacked in 5 seconds. So
yeah, it's true. Maybe change your channel name again, like because you had GematriaEffectNews. But what do you think about that? I think it might help us out.
yeah, I mean, anything. I think it's a good idea. So
Yeah. Also, the video game I haven't working on it recently, but I'm gonna get into it. I think I want to do it like entertainment, because I want it to like spread out, and like people who aren't necessarily like into truth or whatever, they might play the game because it's fun. And that's what my goal is. So I'm trying to make it like entertaining and stuff. It's like a third person shooter. Like you have a bunch of missions. Like the first mission I want to be, because you're the like main playable character. So I want the first mission to be like in the city. Like they install all these AI security cameras, and like the first mission is basically to like go around the city destroying them. And I think that it will be a fun game, kind of like an open world game.
okay.
Just something that like people can enjoy, but hopefully that'll help out. But I'd like to discuss more of the stuff with you in person. If you ever come out in February anywhere, I'm definitely waiting for you on that. I have some money saved up to go out and visit.
All right, we'll see what happens. All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Sebastian.
All right. See you. Have a good luck with the computer.
Yeah. All right, let him in. Yeah, I like Buck 52,000's comment. Indeed, people that were living in harmony with the land. They say the greatest democracy in the history of the world was the one the natives had here before the Europeans came over, and we all know what happened to them. Genocided. So there's been a genocide on this land before. Thank you very much, T. Hicks. That was very generous of you. That was very generous. That's a lot to donate. That covers you for the next 5 years. If everybody could just donate $1 a month, I mean, really, $1 a month, that would be 5 years and 5 months right there, $65. But thank you. So, yeah, those purple streetlights are weird. The first time I finally saw them with my own eyes was New York, September 2022, driving from Buffalo to New York City. There were some purple lights along the way. Again, there's other ways to donate besides just YouTube. I have different ways to support the work, but I mean, what are you really saying? If you're a credit card company, banks, all this stuff, it's all the cabal, man. They got your information. It's in the database. Rest assured, at this day and age. What's up, 816?
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, on the topic of Disease X, have you ever seen the covers for the movies Fast X and Saw X?
Like Fast and Furious and Saw?
Yeah.
Okay, so I imagine it's like that's the 10th in each of those series, but I haven't seen them. But what's the observation?
They just got a big X on them.
Okay.
It's kind of ironic because they came out this year and then Elon Musk changed the Twitter name and everything.
Oh, sure. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, well, if you look at the covers, you'll see how that's just blatant, like, symbology.
Okay.
The funny thing is he put that X up in San Francisco, and if you look at the movie, what's it, X-Men: The Last Stand, the cover is the San Francisco Bridge.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that. And what's even weirder about that is, I don't know if you know this, but the leader of the X-Men, I guess, is Francis Xavier. I don't know if you knew that. That was
Francis Xavier is one of the founders of the Jesuits.
Yeah, that's how it ties into that. So I find it ironic that Elon Musk would put that X in San Francisco.
But San Francisco is named after Saint Francis of Assisi, right? He created the Franciscans, which was the precursor to the Jesuits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that.
Okay.
What I find even more ironic is that the people who won the college championship this year were the Wolverines and the
X-Men. That's where you're going, X-Men. Yeah.
Of the X.
Yeah.
So the X-Men is the Wolverine, so that kind of ties into all of this stuff. So I find that pretty funny.
Yeah, that's interesting observation. Okay.
And I don't know if you know this, but the sky is divided into the alphabet, where we get our letters.
The sky is divided into the alphabet?
Well, the alphabet is divided from the sky. So like every, I guess, zodiac or section of the sky is attributed to an alphabet letter. And what's so ironic about that is right now, the planet Saturn, which is the ruler, of time and the spheres, is passing through Aquarius, headed into Pisces, and that's the part of the sky divided into the letter X.
Okay. I got to do more research on that. I didn't realize that.
Which is I'm assuming where they get all this symbolism for a lot of the X stuff that they're doing right now. And even more funny, the Olympics are going to be held in France. That ties into Francis and Francis Xavier and Francis Assisi.
What year are they doing the Olympics in France? This year?
Yeah, this year, 2024.
Okay. I gotta look into that too. I was overlooking that.
Yeah, all this stuff ties in with that. It's like a wordplay on the word France and the word X and the position of Saturn right now, which is, like I said, right now is headed into Pisces, which is really important to the start of the Gregorian calendar because, like I said, Saturn rules time, and every part of the sky is divided into different letters and numbers.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, well, I was also wondering if you ever had the time. I made a little animation or a little thing. I could send that to you and explain it to you.
Sure.
And you'll see how all this works. I've done a really good job. I made it representing the Prague astronomical clock. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Say it again. What is it?
The Prague astronomical clock.
I don't know what that is.
Czech Republic. Well, I made it to that, and it'll show you how Gematria, letters and numbers ties into the time of the year, the zodiac, and everything. If you're ever free, I can show you that, or send you some pictures of that because it just mimics the sun. Is I guess goes from left to right in the sky, so that would be the ordinal forward, and then I'm thinking the reverse is probably the lunar because the moon goes backwards to the zodiac, so that's your forward and backward, and they both go up and down, so that's why you get the 1 to the 9 forward and backwards.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's all solar. If I were to ever show you that wheel, it would really tie into why they keep calling everything X and why France and why they're probably hosting the Super Bowl during the Catholic, month of February because that's their anniversary because that's when the calendar.
Yeah, it's also the Vatican's birthday. The Super Bowl is literally on the 95th birthday of the Vatican. And again, that movie about the Super Bowl getting attacked that came out in 1977 is called Black Sunday. And the fictional Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl X, which is the 24th letter. And what's funny is that movie came out during the 58th NFL season and this year's Super Bowl 58. So again, we'll see if they try anything crazy at the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, who won that Super Bowl?
Who won Super Bowl 58 in that season?
Yeah.
Let me go back and look. 1977 NFL season. It was the Cowboys. The Cowboys. Oh, I just noticed something else that's really interesting about that. What did I just see? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the first pick of that draft. Okay. It was Cowboys over Broncos in that Super Bowl. It was the 77-78 season, 58th season. And again, in 1977, that's when Black Sunday came out.
Okay. You said the Cowboys. They played the Broncos.
Yeah, Cowboys over Broncos that year. So that can't possibly be the Super Bowl this year because both those teams are out. Black Sunday came out on March 11th of all days, old 3/11.
Yeah. I was gonna say that could still tie into the Super Bowl. Though I've been telling people, Mike Shanahan's son is coaching, so that ties in with Denver.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kyle Shanahan, his son, coaches the 49ers, right?
And what's even stranger how this all ties into that is that in 1997 was the last time that Saturn was in its placement that it's in now. So you can technically consider that the W and the X.
Okay.
And that's when his son won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all. But I was gonna say, if you ever want to take a look at those covers for those movies, it's very, very blatant symbology.
I will. And if you want to send me something, my email is GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. And yeah, I made a small video if you ever want to play that on your channel about it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, send it over to me. I'd be happy to share it.
Okay, no problem, man.
All right, thank you.
That was all.
All right, yeah, take care.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Okay, somebody said, what are my thoughts on Mind Unveiled? Scary Spaghetti. Thank you for the $2 donation. I don't know Mind Unveiled, so I'll have to check it out. And Aiden let us know the Warriors coach died at 46. I did put a short video out just before this stream. The news hadn't quite broke that he died. It was that it was a medical emergency is how the story initially broke. So I did a short video covering that. And then like as soon as I published the video, it updated to he died. But what time is the show over? I don't know. I'll go until it feels like the show should end. So I'm not on any timer since we're not actually on TFR right now. Yeah, Usher does perform at halftime. For all you Packers fans out there, that's your prayer, Usher. The last time Usher was in a Super Bowl 45, Packers beat the Steelers. 7 seeds never won it. But it's kind of a long shot, but interesting parallel. Mike McCarthy was the coach of the Packers back then, and this year the Packers beat Mike McCarthy in Dallas in the wild card. Mike McCarthy got his 28th loss in the time of coaching with Dallas when Packers is 28. See if the Packers can get up past the 49ers because the 49ers are looking for their 28th home win in the playoffs. We've been talking about that all year, that the Black Sunday movie was nominated for the Edgar Allan Poe Award. And what's really interesting about that is in the movie Black Sunday, it's Super Bowl X in that movie, and X is the 24th letter. And again, here we are in 2024. And again, that came out during the 58th NFL season, Super Bowl 58 this year. But the teams in the Super Bowl in the movie are the Cowboys and the Steelers. And this year, the Steelers coach, Mike Tomlin, got his 174th all-time win one day after the 174th death anniversary of Edgar Allan Poe beating the Baltimore Ravens, which equals 174 in Gematria. And funny enough, if why don't you look at how many wins John Harbaugh has and make sure you add up his regular season plus postseason and see where he might end up this year. Because, and again, the thing about the Ravens is in the Batman movie, when the stadium explodes, it's the Steelers' actual team on the field. And the kicker, again, if you remember the Batman movie where they kick it off, they show section 322. And the kicker's name is Ravenstall, who kicks off the ball right as the stadium starts to explode. Ravenstall. So it's Ravens and Steelers again, just like how they had the big ritual this year in the league the day after Edgar Allan Poe's death anniversary. And again, the thing about showing section 322 is the Yale, the university that's credited with creating American football, or at least I should say their alumni, Walter Camp, who's a member of Skull and Bones, Order 322. Again, Yale turned 322 years old this year. And in the one other movie, The Sum of All Fears, where the bomb goes off at the football stadium, it's a game in Baltimore. So, I mean, I've always said, like, I'd be blown away if they ever attack the Super Bowl. It could be something goes down in the world the day of the Super Bowl. I don't feel like they really want to mess with the NFL because it's like one of their biggest mind control tactics. But I think it'd be a really bad sign for humanity if they did something at the Super Bowl. The word end in Gematria equates to 23 forwards, 58 in reverse. It's the 2023 season. It does conclude at the start of 24, but it will go down in history as the 2023 season. And then end is 23 and 58. It's like, well, maybe if they're ready to really to get the Georgia Guidestones plan in motion, maybe this is it for a while. So let's hope not. But if that did happen, again, I mean, it's the consequences of being apathetic to obvious, serious agendas that were taking place and people not really caring. Just, is the TV back on yet? Is the football back in session? I mean, it's where humanity's been at this whole time. So seeing through the agendas and what needs to be stopped, they're just ready for the entertainment to come back. Black Sunday, old 113, releases on March 11th. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny how they do it over and over? Same people controlling Hollywood, controlling your nightly news, your cooties pandemic, your simulation today, preparing for disease. I mean, what a dumb thing, like to speculate that there's going to be this new disease that's 20 times more deadly than COVID. What? Why? Somebody needs to teach these people about hermeticism, mentalism. All is mental, manifesting things. Are they trying to manifest a disease 20 times more deadly? God. Thought these things happen once every 100 years. Maybe we can just chill for a minute. So they told us this is a once in 100-year event, but now here they are already ready to go a couple years later. You know. Oh, I see what you're saying. X is the third letter if you run the alphabetic order in reverse. Yeah, if you run the alphabetic order backwards, it's the third letter. Okay. Here, I'll put the call-in number back up. It's my cell phone that I use when we're not doing TFR. It's always the same number if you guys just want to save it in your phone. But yeah, thanks again, T Hicks. That was a big donation. Literally, that was more in a single donation than we've raised in the last 2 weeks combined in super chats. So appreciate that. The last 2 TFRs, we raised $17 and $31. And then, of course, that's before YouTube takes their cut, which is about 30%. So you blew it away, T Hicks, with just one donation. Thank you. George Carlin, if I recall, died in a 113 ritual. If I have an old post on that. 732.
Hey, Zach. I think maybe a part of this, Civil War programming, going back, before Trump was announced he was running for office. I think it's kind of like a safety mechanism for these people, because I think they understand that if they instigate a civil war, if any type of thing breaks out, they can easily just do a couple of false flags and turn it into a race war where, the authorities are not under the line of fire like they should be.
Sure.
I think it's twofold. That's why they're putting the Civil War propaganda out there, because they know they can catch people and turn it right into a race war if they ever need to, step out of the line of fire.
Sure.
That's why I think the strategy is with all this stuff. Because, what you said about it would be a really bad sign if they attacked the Super Bowl. You would, signifying the end of something. I mean, the country is going to be 253 years old in the year 2039, and that 2039 is on a 19-year cycle range, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And 2063, 263, the 56 prime number, 56 signers. So, so from 9/11 up until they started invading other countries, that was basically, what was the time lapse? That was basically 5 years into it. They were full swing in 3 different countries. How long did it take for them to get into all those countries in the Middle East after 9/11?
I'd have to go back and check. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Yeah, because the whole 5 country in 7 years thing. Remember that guy from the fucking
Wesley Clark. Yeah, it's crazy too, because it felt like Wesley Clark was a whistleblower back then, and now he's on TV just part of the agenda. It's amazing to witness how these things go down over time.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, man. It's they know they have the force to repel a bunch of small time attacks. I mean, that's got to be the main reason why they do this stuff the way they do it. It's because it's they're bored. They're bored with how much control they have. I don't get it.
Yeah, or they're just infinite greed. They can never have enough. So, but yeah, interesting thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like I always have hope. I don't think we're totally defeated. I know you believe the same thing. We physically have like even with sticks and friggin' and stones, we could take over all these armies. You know, like there's probably military and police across the entire world. There's like less than 20 or 30 million soldiers. Like 3 million in America. Only 3 million soldiers doing all this shit. So it's really just like the whole mental game. It's like it really is the mentalism thing that people are just on such a know-nothing paradigm where they just don't know how reality works and how responsibility works. And, you know, it's almost like people are, they say they're self-motivated to take care of themselves and be about themselves and take care of their family and stuff, but it doesn't, you know, line up with their actions. So it's just massive confusion everywhere you fucking look, and it's pretty frustrating. But, you know, I've only kind of seen things the way I see them now for, you know, a little over 5 years now. So, I mean, I don't really have too big of a grudge with people who, you know, sit there and whine, but then don't do the work to know the truth. Because, you know, it's actually a lot of damage done to us through the school and the media. It's like, you know, it's literally satanic ritual abuse being, you know, confined into a room for 13 years, and doesn't matter who is right or who is wrong in a situation. Like, you know, you get in trouble for bullshit, and, you know, you learn retarded stuff. It doesn't fucking matter. And the effect that school has had on, you know, the last 3 or 4 generations is obviously clearly fucking high level black magic. Like this is like ultimate black magic mind control we're dealing with. So being mad at people for not catching up as fast as other people are, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's going to take some willpower not to be mad at these people, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I'd say, I mean, if you boil down what the education system does to most people, it teaches them conformity, to lose their individuality, you know, just learn to fit in. And also just to do what the authorities tell them, follow the instructions, or else there will be consequences. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to talk to my friend about this stuff. You know, I've talked to many friends about this stuff, but the one I've been working on the most lately, I mean, I try to clue him in on how, yeah, man, you know, the English language is created, you know, from 2 or 3 different languages in the past, and the words that we use now, they have other meanings. And if you learn those meanings, like, you know, the word jurisdiction used to create a right, or, you know, justify, like there's no such thing as a justifiable, you know, there's nothing is justifiable, because the word justify means to create a right. And, you know, rights aren't something that are created. They're, you know, they're basically given to you since birth. And you know that guy Kevin Sorbo, the Hercules actor?
okay.
Yeah, so the Kevin Sorbo Hercules actor, he's one of these right-wing, like there's a lot of right-wingers that are like a fan of his because he, you know, says stupid shit about Democrats and all that. And I saw him respond to Justin Trudeau the other day or today, mentioning like, oh, Justin Trudeau said, if Donald Trump gets elected, that's bad news for Canada. We're going to take a step back and blah, blah, blah. And then Kevin Sorbo goes, well, the people in Canada don't have rights, so it's no wonder you wouldn't want to understand why we won't give ours away, or we don't want to give ours away. And that's just the total opposite of reality. The reality is that everybody has the same rights, and these different governments across the world, they let you or deny you, you know, as they see fit. So it's like these people on the right wing, like there's all these fucking fans of them that are still kind of fans. Like even people in the conspiracy community, they're still fans of certain politicians.
And it's like, these guys don't even understand that government doesn't give you rights. And it's just like, you can just tell, like they're not even using critical thinking. They're literally just repeating, what they see on the TV from their favorite character.
Sure, and I mean that's one of the things that,
like fucking cartoons.
That's one of the things that happens to us as children too, is we learn about this authority thing, and it's made legitimate in our minds, but it's really not. And I think I just always knew that naturally, because it was always written on my report card every semester: does not respect authority, and I didn't. It's just because I just thought a lot of people are full of shit, and they couldn't explain themselves, and I didn't respect the bullshit in Sunday school. I didn't respect the bullshit in the classroom. I didn't respect bullshit that came from my parents. I just did not respect authority, because I developed the understanding at a young age that this world was full of shit. That's why when I saw the movie Network and I saw the rant about bullshit, I was like, this is the greatest movie ever made. This movie gets it. So.
Yeah, and it's funny. I just saw that South Park movie from 1999 again, Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
Sure.
They have a picture of a gorilla with words. It's Mr. Garrison's classroom, and they have the alphabet with the letters on top of the chalkboard, but it's the alphabet forwards and backwards. And then there's a picture of the gorilla, and this is 10 years before Harambe, and it says, the world's got to wake up, or something along those lines. And so, I just saw that South Park just had the fucking alphabet forwards and backwards in 1999 above their chalkboard in their big movie. Just another major hint, especially with the wake up or whatever. It's time to wake up. That's what it said. It's time to wake up with the alphabet forwards and backwards on the chalkboards. Insane.
That is, yeah. The clues are in the least likely places. They love to put it in cartoons and comedy. So, yeah. Well, great.
It's all throughout it, and that's what's crazy. Like, every piece of media, every media creator is doing this. Like that. Where do they learn this? Blah blah blah. Like, is the network really over 100 million people? And just because we're not members, we have no idea.
It could be like They Live. He gets the glasses and he realizes there's quite a few of these people in this organization out there. You just need the glasses to see it.
Yeah, so there's people that believe that our world population is not at 8 billion or close to it. And now they think, oh, yeah, have you ever seen a billion people? So, even if it's the world population is 4 billion people, that's where we outnumber these people in insane odds. These people are able to do this stuff against insane odds. So it has to be a technological...
Right. That's how they've achieved it, through technology. Technology is what gave them the upper hand to control humanity. And the first technology they really had was the printing press. And obviously it's evolved a long way from there. So.
And, I was actually... you had that, or I saw something about Steve Jobs again. The iPhone came out in 2005, something like that. And, right after 9/11 and that whole 2001 A Space Odyssey thing, my best theory, my best guess is that, the events of the first decade of the year 2000 was planned out. All these things were made to happen in a row for a really, really long time. And it's almost like these plans go back and they coincide with the creation of the country itself. So, and that includes the iPhone, coming out after the Patriot Act, where they said, yeah, we're going to start tracking everybody.
Hold on. Just to rewind, I've always made that point. It's not even, it was before the smartphone too, because I always make the point. Everyone started to get cell phones on their body, and then boom, 9/11 happens and the Patriot Act, and now they have all this, they have these new laws to collect everybody's information through their emails, cell phones, text messages, pages, phone calls. All of a sudden, this is the law of the land. And then it's like 10 years later that it becomes revealed that, oh, they've actually been doing this since before even 9/11 happened. AT&T's been collecting everybody's records since 1984, they reported. And so, I mean, it shows you that, like, it's just like really what it was an unveiling of what they'd already been doing. And but then it did become the law of the land. And that was why at the time Obama was on the campaign trail saying that, we can't let them pass this telecom immunity bill because these people violated our constitutional rights. But the next thing you know, it's time to vote. And then Obama goes against what he was campaigning on and votes for the immunity. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right? He's the movie, September 2001: A Space Odyssey, and there's also Metropolis, which came out in like the early 1900s, about like that satanic robot. I feel like this deployment of technology, like cell phones, which end up really just being tracking and recording devices that pretty much pinpoint where you are at all times on the planet within like a foot. Pretty much, like, I think that they released this stuff at specific times, even though they had the technology to do it, years and decades beforehand, because they want to make sure, all their ducks are lined in a row so it can just all fall down like dominoes when they press, the first one.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, AI has probably been trained since, they started openly talking about them having computers with DARPA, like the DARPANet. Like, it only makes sense that they've had AI way longer than they, discuss. But we basically had forms of AI for a couple of years now, even though it's not like real legitimate AI, they say. But I mean, why would they ever release a real AI when they could just have the prospect of a real AI coming out in the future, and all the while there's a fucking AI keeping track and developing scenarios. Even like, think about it, man. If there's such thing as an artificial intelligence where it could literally be on a million different computers at once and watching what you're watching on the computer, like, that's definitely like demonic level entity ability. So where is the bridge between AI and demonic like intelligence, where it's like you're trying to influence people by seeing what they're looking for, and then with ads and search results, you want to put something in front of their face to influence them because there's a certain percentage likelihood, like they give you the highest likely thing that would captivate your attention, and that's why everybody's talking about, oh yeah, I was talking about this subject, and then it popped up on my Facebook ads and all that stuff. Like, I was looking up shoes on Amazon, I see these shoes on all my different accounts. So it's like, how far is it going to go, and are they going to successfully digitize our money to where it's basically like, there's no escape as far as like what you purchase.
Well, what's going to happen unless there's an intervention and people stop it. I mean, we just saw them set up FedNow last year on the 201st day of the year. Bill Gates just yesterday was the big headline saying how much AI is dramatically going to change humanity in the next 5 years. And for people who don't know, I think Bill Gates, when he comes out and talks about the future, he's definitely a person to listen to, because I remember when I was in high school in the 90s, and it was our current events class, and there was a little section in one of the chapters we were reading, and Bill Gates had a quote in there about how in the future there would be a handheld device that we could essentially do everything through. Shop. We were trying to imagine it back then. We're like, what's it going to be? A hologram? But people didn't quite have cell phones yet. So then next thing, the cell phone came out, and then the smartphone came out, and now we see how it is, this handheld device that you really can do almost everything through. So.
Yeah, and this is like the spooky part of it. It's like, like how they have the whole idea of like a hologram that you look at in front of you. But now there's also the smart TV glasses or whatever where you put goggles on.
Like, are the goggles an adjustment from the plan because they can't make the hologram tablets? Or is it actually a part of the plan just to put the goggles on us, and the tablet hologram thing in front of us with our regular eyes is an illusion that can, like, of course the technology is probably possible. I mean, it already is possible to have a hologram. You just have to have like a solid sphere, crafted thing, and the light waves bounce off of it. But yeah, man, like what these people have planned, like, how the news is never quite shocking when the new fucking big thing, the new big technology comes out. It's not really shocking when, Tesla comes out with his robots and stuff. But what's shocking is it's like, okay, this Tesla guy and his robot thing, this isn't a plan that's 10 or 15 years old. This plan is fucking a century old. They're paying tribute to this robot in this 1920 movie called, Metropolis. And even then, like, well, that movie was planned, 5 years in advance or whatever. So it's like, how old are these plans that they're dealing with right now that we're seeing unfold in front of our eyes?
Sure. I mean, that's what we know, that these people are planned out decades in advance, maybe centuries in advance. Again, it's obvious that the 9/11 plan, it really went into motion in 1968, but you look at the popular fiction, it goes back to the 40s, before the World Trade Centers were even built, that it seems that they had the idea for 9/11. So.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Bush was born on that Senator Dewey's birthday, or Governor Dewey, or whatever. And that guy, his name and identity. Oh, I'm sorry. Governor Dewey made the plans on George Bush's birthday, June 7th, 1946.
July 6th.
Guy, his life would have been scripted for that to happen.
Yeah, for people who didn't know this, this is really interesting right here. 47th governor of New York, Dewey, began the official planning for New York's World Trade Center July 6th, 1946, the exact day that George W. Bush was born.
Yeah, so that means not only did they plan Bush's life out, but they also planned this dude's political career to make that particular event happen.
It's just like Donald Trump.
Back farther and farther.
And it's just like Donald Trump, too, because that Western show Trackdown had the episode about a con man named Trump who wanted to build a wall in Texas, and it's perfectly synced with Trump's 12th birthday. So.
In 1956, right?
I think 58. No, 1958. Just like how he won the 58th election after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower, and just like how suddenly Susan has the May 8th episode of him as president, and he interviewed with Oprah in 88 about being president when Oprah's 58. So, I mean, just all these clues along the year that he was going to win that 58th election.
Yeah, man. And, when I first called in, I was just talking about like how they have a couple of different ways to plunge us into immediate chaos due to all the previous rituals that charge the public psyche, like the race riots, tearing down the statues, the January 6th thing, all the other things in the last 10 years, basically. Pretty much, George Bush really plunged the world into chaos, and then Barack Obama was the false hope coming out of it, and then Donald Trump was the next false hope. And then Joe Biden is like the fucking little settle for him because you can't deal with Trump. And if they fucking have Biden die and put Trump back in there, plus do whatever else they want to do that they've been planning for decades, like it really is a recipe for fucking chaos. Like we're in a special time, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, indeed we are. So.
But yep, that's all.
All right.
Appreciate doing what you do.
All right.
Not over till it's over.
Indeed. Right. Thank you.
Later.
All right. Take care. All right. Jehovah's Thickness says, is there any scientific method based decoding? Example, if X happens, then Y's probabilities increase. And X would be if X Leb died on kill date numerology, expect the numbers X, Y, Z to present themselves in their companies. So like there is ways we've done this in the past. The year that we were super confident, there's been years where we've been super confident that a Super Bowl would be two teams and we didn't have to have any hedge bets or anything. But like the year that it was Brady beating Mahomes. We were watching to see if something would happen in the Tampa Bay Rays baseball game, and we're like, if this happens, that's it, that Brady's winning the Super Bowl. And then boom, that happened. So we use that kind of methodology a lot in our sports decoding. What's up, D26?
I'm good. Can you hear me now? Is it pretty audible?
You sound clear as always. How you doing?
I'm doing not so good. I wanted to call you. I did call you, I guess, a month ago. There have been some really bad time in life, but we'll keep that thing for a private call. I think you're still live, I guess.
We are doing the live stream right now.
Live?
I'm sorry to hear it's
Yeah,
tough times.
It's all right. We'll talk about this probably later. Are you available in the month of February, or are you planning some trips?
You just got to hit me at the right time, because I'm just. I'll look for your call, or maybe just send me a message and try and plan out a time that we can communicate.
All right. So I think it's still 17th of January over there. So I got some quick finds about that. I think you already updated your articles that Central Intelligence Agency equals 117.
Right.
And there is one more thing that I forgot to mention this whenever we had the last call, that the Roman Empire in history was at its peak in its entire duration in the year 117 AD, or Common Era, as we call it. That is one thing in history to look into. The other thing is that on the same day, on 17th of January, which is yesterday for you, it's already 18th over here. So Samsung had its new flagship phone launched on this day, on Wednesday. And the big thing about it was the introduction of AI into Samsung's own phones. The NPU is, as it's called, Neural Processing Unit. So that is one thing to notice. So they are making AI as the big thing for this year in 2024. And also the entire ad campaign leading up to the launch of the new Samsung flagship phone had a abstract design denoting the symbol X. And X is the 24th letter, which we are in the year 24th year of the century. Some key individuals which you might be interested in knowing that they have their birthdays on this day is, I think you must have already found this, Michelle Obama, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy. What's interesting is that Benjamin Franklin, he was also born on 17th of Jan. And I didn't know that he also designed one of the earliest, or probably the first, iterations of the Great Seal of the United States, which he incorporated using the 13. The number 13 was very dear to him. And I found out recently, some weeks ago, that the number, he used to cultivate his life around 13 virtues. Now it's interesting because everything with the US symbology in the government, it has a lot of number 13s in it. And when I decoded the number 13, if you spell it out, that equals 117.
Right. Just like CIA's 13 and Central Intelligence Agency's 117. Yeah.
Central Intelligence Agency equals 117. What's also interesting is that the word conspire equals 117. To conspire, or basically just the word conspire, I guess. Correct me if that's wrong. But yeah, that's interesting. That Franklin's birthday is on 17, and he used a number 13 in his 13 and all in his life, as well as in designing the Great Seal. But apparently, his design was not approved. It was some different design. I don't know the guy which is adopted right now, which is the current seal of the United States. But yeah, that is the relation with the number 13, as well as the number 117. I think also 13. Let me just see. Yeah, if you decode the word 13, that equals 99 and 117. I think 13 into 9 is 117, something like that.
So there was some relation. I forgot that mathematical equation, but yeah, it's interesting that the number 13 equals 117, and the old calendar, which is the lunar calendar before the standardization, according to that calendar, Franklin's date would be January 6th, the famous insurrection date. I think that's it for the whatever 17th January. Regarding the disease X, a lot of people don't know about this. So it's interesting. I was posting it on the internet, and a lot of people were basically they were shocked at this thing that they're still making pandemic exercises. So I still have to look into the videos. Have you found any videos for preparing for disease X? Like we had videos, or basically an entire pandemic exercise for Claydex and Event 201.
Well, again, it happened today, January 17th. So I'm waiting to see if they put out videos like what you just mentioned.
I didn't find, that's why. Yeah, I didn't find, and that's why I'm asking. I didn't find anything on their website, and they just have a few vague articles on the Johns Hopkins website. I'm still looking up if they have put anything on the World Economic Forum.
They might eventually, since it just happened. I wouldn't be surprised if it. Look for the update on January 20th. We'll see what they give us that day.
I did make an entire note. I'm not finding that note. I'm already half asleep. I'm light on the bed. I'm only using my phone. I don't know where did I make that note, but I was making an entire points that what I would be discussing with you leading up to our next call. But I think it's in my laptop. I need to check that again. So next time if I'll come to you, I will probably have some predictions. But yeah, coming up, talking about one big prediction that I made on the last stream that I was on with you was regarding the show called Manifest on Netflix, which is about a plane getting disappeared for 5.5 years. And all the passengers are just like, they get these dreams or premonitions about the end of the world, and the end of the world, the date of the end of the world is apparently June 2nd, 2024. The last season of it it was released on January 2nd, 2023, a year before the end date within the series, which talks about a volcanic eruption. That is one. And we did see a volcanic kind of eruption in the start of the year in Japan, as well as a tsunami. So,
and what's going on is it Iceland right now is having a major volcano thing.
I'm not aware of that. I need to check that.
Yeah, town's burning up.
Tight schedule right now. So there is basically an event coming up in my institute. I'm performing a dance. I have a dance performance. I was in the singing group, which I left, and there's a short film that is being made, and I'm the director of that. So I'm working on that for the last 3-4 months. So I'm literally packed right now till 15th of Feb. So probably after mid-February, we can do a live stream together. And I'll also call you for a personal prize, something personal. I just wanted to talk to you about that.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know when you want to talk, and I'll make the time.
Kind of like when at a very down stage last month. So far, things have been kind of like normal, but not really normal. Not like it was before. But yeah, let's see. I'll call you later about this thing. We'll talk about those things on the personal call. But yeah, let me know if you're available for a live stream together in February, I would say.
Okay, we'll do it.
Late February.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay. Thank you for picking up the call.
All right.
And have a good day.
Stay strong. Yeah. Let me know when you want to talk. All right. Take care, D26. Get some rest.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Take care. I don't know what time it is in India right now, but I know he's always up in the middle of the night. That's too bad that he's not doing well. He told us a while back that he lost his grandfather, who was really close to him. Hopefully, he didn't have more tragedy in the family. 407.
Yeah, what's up, Zach? I just wanted to mention a few things about the initial topic of sell-ups, correct?
Oh, say it again. I didn't hear what it was.
The initial topic was about like sellouts, right? For this.
I did start ranting about. I'm just but yeah. If you got more to say on that, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say like we got to start putting the sellouts on the same level of as the trolls, because if you think about it, like what's a sellout? A sellout is someone who knows what should be, being done, being put out there, but they choose not to for the interest of themselves, right? So a lot of these big people who know like what they should be presenting. I don't want to mention any of them, to give them publicity, but people who know that your work is like what should be put out there, and some people who have actually gone out to put your work out, and then they notice like, oh, this is hurting my bank, so I need to stop doing this. Those people who have no interest except for themselves, they should be put on the same level, probably even lower than trolls, because they have the information, they have the platform, but they choose not to in their own self-interest. So what can we say about these type of people?
Yeah, it is a problem. I wouldn't say they're as bad as trolls because, like, what's our friend who hyped having me on and then never had me on, and I mean, even dropped like super chats in my own stream hyping it, and then never happened. And again, his wife doesn't work, and he feeds his family through his YouTube account. And you know what I've noticed is he never even had me on, and it seems like ever since he even hyped that he was going to have me on, it seems like his traffic's down on everything he does. So, I mean, I understand that people got to feed their family, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's like if we don't stop what's coming, everyone's families are effed. So,
yeah, definitely. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up was about the guy who mentioned the AI, not the more recent one, but more than a few callers ago. I think he kind of has a good point about AI being in control of a lot of this stuff. But what you got to think about is like the way that you mentioned, like the stuff that you're presenting is simple math, and like we know that AI can be incorporated to make things easier. So the people who come up with AI, they do have the knowledge of being smart, being book smart, but a lot of these people have no idea about what you expose daily. So it's kind of like a thing where the people are smart and like we know the saying like, oh, I'm just doing my job. Those people who are smart and who work for Google and things like that, these people probably have no idea about what their knowledge is being used for. You know what I'm saying?
it could be, but they know at the end of the day that they work for companies that are censoring people and speech and targeting certain topics to make sure that they're destroyed in the algorithm and banned and censored. And again, I mean, you go to these companies and almost everyone who works there is not American. So they come from places where free speech isn't even a thing. So that probably also helps them with their mindset of like, oh, well, it's the way the rest of the world is anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like if you're a part of a company that's doing bad things, you just shouldn't work. You shouldn't work for it. It's like I had to make a hard decision a long time ago. I really like working with young people and teaching them and see them improve and gain confidence. And I miss teaching in a classroom with students. But at the same time, I just decided to leave education because I realized at the end of the day, it's like we're not really allowed to educate these students about things that they really should know about in this world. You just got to follow the lesson plan and teach the same old and indoctrinate them the way you were once indoctrinated. And it's just like at the end of the day, I don't want to do that. So
yeah, I kind of agree with you, but I do kind of disagree on that. I wouldn't say that you shouldn't work for these companies at all. I would say that you should if you're putting out this knowledge, and you should do that up until the point where they have to get rid of you, because you never know like who you could reach out to, whose mind you could open, and that person could have you. It's all about networking. But there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, as far as like your streams and stuff, I've been like I made a StreamYard account, and like usually when you go live, I just put up a StreamYard and I put your video out there, so I have it going live on like on Facebook or on Instagram.
Thank you.
You never know like who could come across it, who could click on it, who could watch it. So that's something people could do. I told you earlier that I've also been like reposting your stuff on Rumble, and it has been getting like, I mean, it's not a lot of views obviously, but there's been some views, there's been some comments that people who like it, people who are new to it. So people out there who watch the stream, you could do stuff to share the stream. You never know, like, who's going to come across it.
Is this open up? Is this open up?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, man. I saw your comment about how you made 4 cents on there, and I said, yeah, you beat me by 4 cents, man. I haven't made a penny on Rumble yet, so good work.
Yeah, and I just left the gym now, so but I was checking my email, and I got a couple emails from people who are like, "Oh, I like this content. Like, how can we get in touch to grow this stuff?" And I mean, it kind of looked weird the way the email was, so it could be like some kind of agent or something. But I'll look into it a little bit. But it did look a little bit sketchy. But yeah.
Yeah, you just never know. But hey, I appreciate all the support and that you're sharing the work. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just doing what I think should be done. I mean, there's no reason why this information shouldn't be worldwide, and everyone should know about it. But great stream, great work as always, and I'll continue watching.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah, see you. You know, just to name another person, when I was out in LA in April, a woman came out one of the nights and she said, "Hey, I got to tell you something." She goes, "I know Anomaly, and he's like obsessed with you, and he always wonders if he should share your work. And anytime I go in that guy's chat, he's aware of me when I leave comments. He's like, oh, look, the numbers guy's here. He thinks he's so smart. He thinks his work is so important." And it's just like, dude, you're like legitimizing politics. God. See, that's what a sellout is. But then you look, he's going on Roseanne Barr, and he's got Vivek doing an interview with him. So he's part of this thing. But he's not well funded. I don't see him getting like super chat like a lot of these trolls, like the Tim Pools. He might get his money somewhere else, but he's not funded by Google, that's for sure. And he's not getting very good viewership on YouTube either. But he's just another guy who could help get out the word. He gets better views on like Facebook. I think that's his primary platform. But yeah, I mean, he's another guy who's well aware, and then it's just a joke, man. There's so many people that could help get out this information. Like, if everybody would help get out the information, we could wake up the world. And that's the thing. If people saw that everyone was talking about it, like they're like, wait a minute, everybody's talking about it. Oh, this must be the thing. That's the way people work. They got to move with the herd. It's not like we want to become the herd, but we need to influence the herd. This person in the chat. But the point is, he got an interview with Vivek. So don't give me the no. You think Vivek's going to come on my platform? You think Roseanne Barr's going to have me on? God. Some of you guys have the IQs of, I don't know, single digits. The point is, he's another guy who gets exposure, who could help share the stuff, and he's talking about me in private, but then, he's got a front and talk shit when I come in his chat. And he thinks he's so smart because he's finally realized that Trump's not who he thought he was. And that's how he got his fame too, right? Because he's making songs about how much he likes Donald Trump. So his whole success was on the back of Donald Trump. And that's the only way you make it in mainstream media, is just towing the establishment line, doing exactly what they want, helping out with their agendas. Roseanne was on with I can't think of what his name is. Is it Larry Elder? Is that what his name is? He's name dropped me one time, if I'm thinking of the right guy. He was talking about me during the time of Kobe. He told people to check out my work on Kobe's death. But if I have his name right, it was him and Roseanne, and a bunch of people from this work did go in that stream and were saying, hey, you got to talk to Zachary Hubbard. You got to talk about Gematria. And then Roseanne made like some remark about just all the people in the chat, like, stop spamming my chat with that. Or it's just like, okay, God. No, these people are not going to help us out. We've been talking about SPARS since forever. We are well aware of SPARS. I see the comment about Chris Singleton, and that guy just that I had a nice moment there in Buffalo at the Tops on the street with a big people engaged, and that Chris Singleton just came out of nowhere to blow it up. He's like, "This just all sounds like a bunch of conspiracy theory crap. We don't need this." And then I was like, "Who are you?" He's like, "My mom died in the Charleston church shooting." And you know what else weirded me out about the Buffalo thing is, and then I remember for people who missed that, we had that Chris Singleton guy on, and then he said, "I'll pay you a good sum of money to take down that interview." And I said, "You don't need to pay me any money. I just took down the interview since it was hurting him so much." But he got paid $7 million, that kid, for his mom's death. I mean, doesn't that seem weird? Like, how many people have their mom get shot and then they get paid $7 million? It's like, But yeah, when I was at Buffalo, it reminds me the other weird thing that happened. If you remember Sandy Bland, the woman who supposedly, I forget how they try to say she hung herself in the jail cell. She was pulled over for not signaling. It was one of the stories that got a lot of attention with Black Lives Matter and the Michael Brown killing shortly after that. But when I was at the Buffalo Tops, she was out there with HBO and they were filming something. And she had Nation of Islam as her bodyguards, and she knew who I was. She came over and thanked me for doing the work that I did when her daughter died. And then she said she wanted to talk to me later and she was going to contact me. So I did give her my phone number. She said, I want to meet with you later tonight. I'll let you know the location. And they did reach out to me, but I don't know. It just felt all sketchy to me. So I was like a little bit paranoid about it. And I didn't go meet with them. But just all these things. When I was there, I was like, wow, Sandy Bland's mom is aware of my content. Huh? Interesting. That's what annoys me. It's like, how many people know about this and have never helped me out? We know Joe. And speaking of Roseanne Barr, it was like 2015 or 2016. It's probably 2016. It might have been 2017. I've lost track of time. But Joe Rogan had an episode with Roseanne Barr. And he's like, have you heard about this Gematria thing? I mean, you know, he's seen the videos. He could have got the word out a million times. That's what I mean. All these people are sold out and they're all told what to do and what topics they're allowed to cover and what they're not. And again, you guys, what we have figured out in this community is so on the target and it's so obvious and it's why it needs to get out, but then nobody will do it because it messes with their bottom line. And again, it's also why I have the most trolls on the internet and have to deal with the most harassment. And then it annoys me that there's just not enough small and regular people out there in the, like, small is not the right word, but just regular people, just people like me. There's not enough people in the world that are willing to do anything. So it's like we're not getting any support from the big people. There's not enough regular folk. That's why I wake up every morning, I'm like, what is the point? Is it Larry Elder? Yeah, maybe that is his name. I just couldn't remember. I know his first name is Larry. I couldn't remember for sure what his last name was. I think America's been bankrupt since forever, but again, don't forget when they audited Fort Knox. It was the date of the great American solar eclipse when you couldn't see the sun, and the sun is gold and alchemy. So, you know. Yeah, indeed, Faustian bargain. Roseanne was saying recently in an interview that she sold her soul when she was like a teenager. So who Anomaly is just another sellout. That's who he is. Again, if he's talking to people about me in private and the work, but then not putting it on his channel, that's because he's a sellout. That's because he's compromised. That's because he's here to sell God bless. Who's selling? I mean, God, buy a God bless beanie. I mean, how lame. You're making money off the phrase God bless. I mean, you talk about lame. he thinks he's finally smart because he woke up to Donald Trump's not who he thought he was. It's like you couldn't tell that Donald Trump was a puppet on strings in 2015. I'm sorry, you're just not very smart. You're just not that smart, period. You know, I knew these puppet politicians were just that when I was 17. Yeah, exactly. Anomaly will go on no impact flicks and debate, and exactly. Both of those guys do the same thing. They both have the same tactic with me. They're like, "Oh yeah, I don't like him. He's too arrogant." It's like, okay, are we trying to get out information or not? Because neither of your guys' information even compares, and that's not an arrogant statement. It's just that you guys don't compare. You don't deserve the ratings. You don't deserve the viewership. You're not doing anything that helps the world. You're just pandering to the mainstream, and that's exactly what these big censorship platforms want. And that's actually more true of Anomaly. Brian actually, I mean, between the two of them, Brian's totally sold out now, and he's only doing cop watching videos. But Brian actually had some good thoughts that needed to resonate with people's minds, and mostly what Brian was doing was just biting Mark Passio. So anyway, but yeah, biting Mark Passio is still a lot better than endorsing Donald Trump. I know the auditing thing. It's just it's all for views, man. It's like all these guys were under the illusion that cops were signing up to protect and serve. I mean, how many cops are really doing that? They want a badge, they want authority, they want to be able to turn on their sirens and go through traffic and carry a gun and, you know, again, have authority over others. That's what most people are in the cop business for. And I don't know how people aren't aware of that from the time they're small children. And again, just the situation I have to deal with right now. You know, I got trolls and losers calling sweet lady, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it unless you want to go cough up 25. And again, the lawyer told me 25,000 at least. Retainer or starting retainer is 7,500. Anticipate at least 25,000. Could be more. And it's like, okay, is this even worth it? I mean, it's a lot of money to spend to deal with a troll. And again, I mean, if we lived in a time where we were free, I could freely deal with the troll, you know? But I'm not allowed to go deal with the troll. I have to let the authorities take care of that, but they're not going to do that because they're too busy doing God knows what. That's why it's just so annoying having to live in this country for a million different reasons. You're expected to allow Big Brother to take care of you, but Big Brother's certainly not here to take care of you. They're just here to collect your taxes and present the illusion of they're doing something. No, I very much am a regular person. I mean, I'm a regular person in every sense of the word. I didn't come from any privilege. You know, the only thing that's different about me is I care about justice more than more people, and I don't like being lied to. I mean, I am smarter than the average person, but in terms of being a person in this country, regular by all means. You know what was funny though? What was funny is, see, that just shows you the way people are, man. Nobody said anything about how bad of a person auditing America was until he made himself look bad in his own video by running from somebody. And then everybody came out against him. And it's like, It's like, okay, he did make himself look like a little bitch. I guess nobody just wanted to be associated with a little bitch. But everybody knew what a scumbag that he was, and it was obvious what a scumbag he was. I mean, all his videos just showed what a scumbag he was. Who goes in a post office to create a scene just to get views? I mean, how pathetic. And who's even watching that shit anyway? God, I wouldn't even know about these people if his little clique hadn't come out to Oklahoma City just trying to get more of a following. That was the only reason they showed up. Yeah, and fake Mike doesn't make any sense either. It's like, how's he getting the interviews and connections that he does? Well, like, why are these semi-famous people like doing interviews with him? They really like snapbacks. Yeah. I remember Brian. Yeah, I remember Brian being like, "Oh, I didn't realize there was masks on there." Oh, yeah, yeah, I know, man. You know what though? To his credit though, a lot of people asked for me to sell a mask. A lot of people reached out and asked for me to sell a mask with GematriaEffectNews on it, and I told people, I said, "Yeah, you can go get your own mask and make GematriaEffectNews. I'm not selling any masks. I'm not endorsing anybody wearing a mask. I don't want to sell a mask." But that's probably the most requested item I've ever had, and nobody buys anything from my store. But man, had I made the mask, I might have made some good revenue. But again, there's just certain ways I will not make money. I'm not selling COVID masks. I still remember when I was in Buffalo, though, this one guy, he came out, man, he was like the best supporter ever. I don't even know where he came from. He was like 6'10", big guy. And he was like, "I'm your number one," but he had a COVID mask on. I didn't say nothing, but I was like, "Why are you wearing a mask then, man? Like, you're a big, strong guy. You don't." Even this guy's afraid of the cooties. Oh man, what are you gonna do? Yeah, that Paul guy. And he had somebody from his crew come out when we were in Sacramento, and he was trying to like provoke us, and I was like, "What's up with this guy?" And then he eventually said, "I'm part of the Paula enslaved crew. We were just trying to get you." He hung around for a while, and he's like, "You know what? You're actually not that bad. I like what you're saying." I was like, see, just come out and meet us for real. See if we're that bad." He thought I was some bad guy before he came out there. They were streaming what we were doing, trying to set us up. And remember, that Paul enslaved guy, I didn't realize he was even aware of who I was, and I was just trying to talk to him and give him some compliments, but also a little fair criticism, and see if he wanted to collaborate. And then he started talking all this shit, and then so I talked shit back, and the next thing you know, Brian's got a video up. "Oh, look at the real Zach. Look at how he reacts from the things he said." It's like, well, why shouldn't I say those things? I still don't feel like I was in the wrong for the way I reacted to him. It's like, how much? Okay, if he's going to sit here and torment me for no reason after I just came on here and gave him a compliment and listen to all this shit, of course I'm going to say something back. God, people are unrealistic. Brian got all butthurt because I questioned if his motive was money, or if it was about getting out the truth. And now we all know that it's obviously about money, because he gave up his whole message because of the climate on YouTube where you're not allowed to talk about anything. Yeah, Gematria really is. Yeah, exactly, Big Al. Gematria is like the they live glasses. Yeah, it only rained. That's true. It only rained at one Super Bowl halftime show ever, and it rained for Prince for Purple Rain. You don't think, oh man, the weather warfare. People don't even get it. That's just a coincidence. I didn't know that. That's funny. I did not know that. I did not know that. I can go back to reading from The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. What I discovered though is I don't like that version of the book I got. It's not, I used to have the actual book. This is like the abbreviated version. Um, but yeah, it also didn't seem like that many people cared when I was reading from it. So. Yeah, did you see exactly when Will was trying to slander me? I was like, dude, you should not be trying to slander me. You hang out with a guy who beats women and you know it, and has done some nasty things to people. And then he recently, I don't know if you guys saw that, but Will, after he got done slandering me about a month later, he came out with this video. He's like, "I got to tell you guys about auditing America." I was like, "Oh, so you're going to sell it? You're going to sell out your buddy now? Now you're going to reveal what you've known for a long time." Yeah, these people are goons, man. Yeah. Well, the thing about Kinfolk is, in every decode that he does, like, I'm always like, wait a minute, how do you skip that piece? Like, how do you leave that part out? I just saw the one he did on the Yo Gotti brother, and he leaves out the Memphis MLK connection. It's like he didn't even talk about. He talked about Martin the sitcom, but didn't talk about Martin Luther King Jr. I was like, how do we leave that part out? So, yeah, and the thing that's just so suspect is he's the only Gematria channel that's allowed to grow. Well, him and what's the other guy that says this person is that person? This person's that person. They're the only two Gematria channels that are allowed to grow. And the other guy's a lot worse. But just the thing that was so suspect about Kinfolk is the 2022 NBA Finals. Again, we gave it out for free to everybody. Why it would be Boston and Golden State, and why Golden State would beat Boston, and why the Celtics would fall to 17-5 in finals because Golden State's 175 like Pope Francis, and what happened on Pope Francis' birthday that foretold why the Warriors would beat the Celtics. And I know Kinfolk saw that video, and then he put out a decode saying that the Celtics were going to win, and he skipped all the numbers that mattered, and it was like the wackest decode ever. And then his channel grew 20,000 subs in the time of the NBA Finals. I was like, wait a minute. He did the wackest decode ever that's wrong. I know he saw mine. Like, why did he go against it? And why did I mean, it was Boston's 22nd championship in 22, and Boston in basketball equal 22. And he doesn't mention any of that until like the final seconds of a 20-minute video. And I was like, come on, man. His channel's growing 20,000 subs in the time of the NBA Finals after like literally the worst sports decode in the history of sports decodes. If you guys saw this year after I showed how the March Madness was all rigged, my YouTube channel, and again, we were right, my sports channel, which it was like at 94,000 and something subs during March Madness, it fell down to 89,000, and now it's just parked on 89,000. It's just been there the whole time, and it loses. If you like look at the performance for the month, like every month I've lost 25 more subs now. It just can't get past 89,000. It's just stuck there. So, I mean, that channel's been dead for a long time, but it just had a huge drop during March Madness. So it's like, why are they allowing his channel to grow and then nobody else's can grow? And, you know, at the same time, I'm glad that there is a Gematria channel that's getting some viewership, but there's just something in every decode he does that makes it go, okay, why would you start with this? Why would you leave out this? Like, what? Every decode just like gives me a headache. I'm like, come on, man. So, and I speculated on this years ago. I could dig through my hours and hours of video. I said someday, watch, they'll probably like co-opt this movement. They'll probably be like the worst decoder ever, getting all the views. Just make Gematria look stupid as hell. I won't say that that's what Kinfolk's doing because, you know, like I'm criticizing his Yo Gotti video, but I know he's hearing me. Because he did just do like one cipher and he just smashed all the 42s, but left out the whole Martin Luther King Jr. piece. I was like, come on, man. He can't realize that it's like Martin Luther King Jr. weekend and it's Memphis. I mean, it should be in the video. So, yeah, I can't even think what that channel's called that does that. I know it's like the worst. It's the worst use of Gematria, and it's you know, and I've had over the years, I've had two channels that got well, I guess three if you count Gematria Effect Sports. I've had three channels that got close to 100,000 subs, and then Gematria Effect Sports still exists, but the other two channels got deleted, and then it takes forever to grow the channel back up, and like, I mean, this channel is just not even growing. The GematriaEffectNews, it was I forget, they deleted two of them recently. One of them was actually growing decently, but then they deleted it. It's gone. It was like getting back up to 50,000 subs, but it's gone now too. So, yeah, that's his name. I don't even want to say his name. What would be the ideal new world order for the world? One where we're not lied to every day, where we have like AI robots making us organic food that's not laced with poison. You know, they're using all the technology to clean up all the contaminants and poison from the world instead of using the technology to bring 8-degree temperatures across the whole continental U.S. I mean, that's the thing. You go back, if you go back like a half century when all this technology was emerging, there were people fantasizing about the utopia that was coming. They're like, yeah, this stuff is gonna automation. I mean, people aren't gonna have to work. There's gonna be abundance. It's gonna be a paradise. People will be able to work 10 hours a week of labor and spend their time with their family and have, you know, it could be that world. So like I say, I mean, the nightly news every night could be just actual real information to improve your life. Here's really that what we know about what you should be doing for sleep. Here's really what you should be doing for diet. Here's really what you should be doing for exercise. Here's the most efficient way to exercise. By the way, you guys, I think the most efficient way to exercise is to get a kettlebell and do kettlebell swings. Just don't do too much weight, which I just learned the hard way. I thought I was really getting good at it, so I upped my weight. I jumped at 20 pounds, the kettlebell, and I tried to do a whole ton of swings at once, and I was doing it. I didn't feel the pain in the moment, but then I did some more later that day, and then later that day I was like, oh my God, am I having a kidney stone again? And I was like, oh, actually it's external. I like pulled a muscle down here. So that's the thing about exercising is you don't want to overdo it, because when you're injured, then you can't work out the next day. You got to take days off until you recover. But yeah, I recently overdid it. And I was glad to realize for a second it had the pain in that area that I thought I was getting a kidney stone again. I was like, oh, never mind. I see what I did. I overdid it with the kettlebell. But yeah, man, kettlebell swings are an awesome workout. And they don't take a lot of time, but you get your cardio going. You're working pretty much like nearly every muscle in your body. I love the kettlebell swing. When the kettlebell first came out, I thought it was just a fad, but it's not a fad, man. The kettlebells are the real deal. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you on the 12-hour-a-day slave shift. That's what I do over here. I do 12-hour-a-day slave shifts almost every day. So, by the way, guys, if I'll tell you a good workout machine. A good workout machine. We got one. We got one this year. The Bowflex Max Trainer. That machine is badass. If you don't have a lot of time to work out and you don't have a lot of space, it doesn't. If you put in 5 minutes on that thing and you go hard, I mean, it is a good workout. In 5 minutes, you can really set your day up, and it doesn't take up that much space because it's probably about 3 feet long. 3 by 3 area of your house is all you need to set that machine up. Bowflex Max Trainer, and you can get the cheaper model. I think the most expensive model is kind of spendy and goes up to 16 levels of resistance. But I read the reviews that the first level of resistance is tough, and it's true. The first level of resistance is a good workout. You crank it up to level 8, man, you will wear yourself out super fast. So, but yeah, I'd recommend that's a exercise machine I would endorse. Bowflex Max Trainer. And what was cool is when we ordered ours, we even got one of those free kettlebells that you can change between 8 and 40 pounds. And the 40 pounds is plenty enough weight for probably, well, unless you're like a big, huge 6'6", 250-pound guy. But you're 5'10", around my size. I mean, you go to town with that 40 pounds, and you can even do less weight than that. But I mean, 40 pounds is plenty. So. Your dad builds those machines, huh, Daria? That's cool. It's a good machine. So I'd say, man, save up a little money. You can get the older model of the Max Trainer for probably around $500. You can probably find it online. Well, I don't know if you want to buy a used one because you don't know how much somebody used it. Eventually they will break down, but those machines, from the reviews, they should last you at least a solid 5 years working out on it every day, and that's putting a lot of miles on the thing. So, yeah, would someone want to exercise and eat right? That's how I feel like. That's my dad's mentality. Literally, when I talk to him, it's just like, God, he drives me nuts, man. He thinks he's going to live forever because he goes and gets his blood work done once a year, and the doctor's always telling him he's still like a teenager. But the thing is, he's not. He's over 70 now, and he's way overweight. And I think he does have good genetics because his mom was like smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day and drank a whole bunch of alcohol, and I think ate Lucky Charms for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sat on her ass and watched Jeopardy and Jeopardy reruns for pretty much her whole life, and still lived to her mid-80s, even though she didn't take care of herself at all. So I'd say she must have had good genes to the way she lived and as far as she made it. But my dad doesn't trash himself with the cigarettes and alcohol, but he definitely doesn't get the exercise like he should. That's the video that you found, Daria, the one where I called the NFL. That was actually in the middle of a live stream. People were in the live stream were like, call the NFL league office. So yeah, and then I did cut the short clip of calling the NFL league office. Yeah, I remember those days. What put this person on the work? Necessity. All right, here. I think we'll go for as long as another 30 minutes. I just saw your text, Big Al. It did crash. Oh yeah, the line's already open, isn't it? Yeah, we can go for another 30 minutes. I need to wrap this up by no later than 5, though. So again, this is the TFR makeup episode because I cannot do TFR later. And thank you to AI Noob. Quran confirms the esoteric black magic practices present among Jews in chapter 2, verses 101 through 102. Surah Baqarah 101 through 102. The word magic is 102. That's interesting. Check it out. Highly recommend every truth seeker to read the Quran. I will look into those verses. That is interesting. Let me see. Why not do it right now? Let's see. And did I forget to put up the phone number? Hold on. Oh, well, hold on. Oh, there we go. There's the translation down below. Now, when a messenger from Allah has come to them confirming their own scriptures, some of the people of the book cast the book of Allah behind their backs as if they did not know. They instead followed the magic promoted by the devils during the reign of Solomon. Never did Solomon disbelieve, rather the devils disbelieved. They taught magic to the people who, along with what had been revealed to the 2 angels, Harut and Marut in Babylon, the 2 angels never taught anyone without saying, we are only a test for you, so do not abandon your faith. Yet people learned magic that caused a rift even between husband and wife, although their magic could not harm anyone except by Allah's will. They learned what harmed them and did not benefit them, although they already knew that whoever buys into magic would have no share in the hereafter. Miserable indeed was the price for which they sold their souls, if only they knew. Very interesting. I find it, I mean, again, some things are coincidental, but it is interesting how it's old 102 and Magic's 102, and we all know what they did with simulating Al-Qaeda attacking the U.S. 102 days before 9/11 and how they put that 102 number on Al-Qaeda. I find that very interesting. 858. This got to be a troll.
This is an automated call from the Midtown Health Clinic. If you are hearing...
Oh, hold on. Why would they call me, though? Maybe Sweet Lady gave him my number. It wasn't a troll. It was a reminder about a health call. Yeah, Kinfolk could be a regular guy, but again, the question is, why is YouTube allowing his channel to grow? They're like literally everybody else has been destroyed who's taught gematria, a lot of channels deleted. Why is he allowed to grow? And again, I don't know how you grow by 20,000 when you put out a whack ass decode about the NBA finals. Those are the things that just make, unless that's what YouTube's looking for. YouTube's like, yeah, let's bring attention to this. Look how dumb this decode is about the NBA, and look how wrong it is. Here, you can grow. So, and then the other thing is, I see him always like promoting the little shill network that bites my work and gives no credit. So I also find that suspect. Eight 863. 863. Hello.
Yo.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, my guy?
Doing the live stream. What are you calling about?
I'm calling about how do you feel about the idea that we live in a prison planet? Have you heard about that theory?
That's the Alex Jones. That's his documentary, Prison Planet.
Yeah, why we can't find other life forms and shit like that? Why we just here by ourselves and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Like we've been casted out of the big consciousness. You feel what I'm saying? Like why we only can use parts of our brain and not all of it? Why are we limited? And we're just here like to kill and to murder and it's just like we're just like a bad like life form. You know what I mean? To the bigger scheme of things. If there's a bigger scheme of things, because of the size of the universe, why are we so disconnected to that? You know what I mean?
Well, not everybody's disconnected, and not everybody's ideas that they should be out killing and doing bad things. A lot of those ideas are planted in people's minds through the culture, right? And what's promoted on television and music. But I don't think that that's how most people are born, and those are the ideas in their hearts and minds.
But why is that promoted? Why is that promoted for us?
Well, isn't it obvious? I mean, again, you got like look into the tribe of people, if you will, that own a lot of these private prisons. They're the same ones that own these record labels. And hey, why not promote this lifestyle so they know you can lock you up and throw you in a cage and then use you for slave labor and make money off having you in the cage in all sorts of ways? So, and the other thing about again, we don't know that we're the only life form out there. If what we're being told in the scientific realm is true, I mean, there could be other life forms out there. We don't know. We only know what we're told. But I mean, we do live on a big old whatever you want to call it. The flat earthers want to call it a pizza land. It doesn't matter. We live on a big old ball. It's a big space. There's a lot of life forms here. I mean. And I think most people at the end of the day, they want to get along with their neighbor. Well, we live in a messed up world right now where a lot of bad values, but I think at the end of the day, we all do wish we lived in a place where there was a nice community around us and we could get along with our neighbors and have fun with them and conversations and share with them. But I mean, I know what it's like out there, man. I tried to help out my neighbor back in what year was that? 2014. And then he came and robbed my house. And that's the world we live in. And then he's driving to church every Sunday, I guess, thinking he's going to get forgiveness because these are whack ideas he has in his head. But again, I mean,
everybody's so angry now.
Well, and why are they angry? Because they didn't grow up with their family. They grew up in a room that they didn't want to be in with an adult that didn't really care about them. The adult's there for a paycheck, teaching them a lesson plan and just doing their job. And it's like, this isn't the world our ancestors grew up in. If we grew up with our family and our community and in tribes, we probably wouldn't be so angry, right? Or do you disagree?
Yeah, I feel you.
We're mad because of the world we live in. I mean, that's why I'm on here raging every day, trying to get people to wake up to how messed up this system is. I mean, there was a time when people weren't on pharmaceutical drugs. They weren't on antidepressants and antipsychotics. I mean, these are all symptoms of the world we're living in. So it didn't have to be this way. It became this way because we allowed psychopaths to control us at the end of the day. That's the way I see it. We allowed some very evil, tyrannical people to get away with things that it's just like a question I used to ask myself is like, okay, if there was one slave master and he had 200 slaves out on the plantation, sure, he might have had a gun and some other people who work for him to manage over this. What do they call them? The overseers. There might have been 10 people with guns out there. There were still 200 people. And had they organized, they would have been able to whoop the asses of those 10 people. Sure, maybe 10 of them would have died in the process, but the other 190 would have been free. It's the same dilemma today, man. Now there's millions of us that are enslaved by, a network of 3 million police. He hung up. But it's the same thing today. We're on the bigger slave plantation, and 3 million cops and military and government officials pretty much have us all on lockdown because of their tactics. And there's like 400 million of us. So anyway, that's what I think. What's up, 443?
Yeah, wouldn't it be easy to combat all the government tyranny if everyone would just simply not comply?
Well, that would have a huge impact, right? It's hard to not comply, though, because everybody's at their slave job where the system sets up where you work, your slave revenue is sent to the government before you even see it. Marvin Gaye sang about it in the 70s.
It would have to be a collective effort. Like your employers, everyone who's a citizen that thinks that their vote counts and so forth, let's just not comply. Let's not pay our taxes. Let's volunteer our tax money the way it used to be. If you can afford something, go ahead. If you have a business and you think the roads are necessary in order for your business to grow, you contribute along with other business owners if you can. If you can't, then somebody else will pick up the slack. But why should we feed the beast that lashes down on us?
I agree. I mean, if everybody stopped participating in the system, it would break. But there's still, in my mind, though, the people still need to organize and also wipe out these people. They needed to be ridded from the earth. So
I'm I'm in the system. I do contract work for the government, and I get a front row seat day in, day out on just blatant money laundering by the government, and no one cares. No one gives a shit. I'm watching them just burn through money like there's no tomorrow, and it's right underneath everyone's nose, and no one could care less. And it doesn't benefit. Most people do not benefit of any of the work that I see being done by the government every day.
Sure. Yeah. Again,
I mean, it's really simple. You don't need to rate. You don't need to protest. You don't need to, buy firearms or anything like that. Just simply don't comply.
but again, like I said, I mean, is it really a realistic option? Because people have to work in the system, right? That's set up right now. If you want to feed yourself and have a place to stay, you got to work. And if you work, you're going to be feeding the system because the money's getting taken out of your check automatically to pay the government.
Well, yeah, I mean, not if everyone was on board. I mean, I'm trying to get like as many voting people that I can to be on board with this. Whether you own a business or not, you're an employer, an employee, or whatever. If you're a citizen that's not in the beast system, then you can contribute in your own way to non-compliance on everything. It's like when everyone was forced to comply with COVID, there was nobody holding a gun up to the managers of the grocery stores to make sure that everyone that came in wore a mask, for example. You can go on down the line with everything.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It seems like it should be simple, but people don't want to do it. They're content with the system.
That's exactly right. They're comfortable enough with the system, and as long as that's the case, they're just going to keep on marching along. So,
Right. And just a side note, I'm ready for the rug pull on the Super Bowl color trophy.
yeah, or there's another team. There's another team that nobody thinks is going to be there that kind of has that color, which we talked about today. And
if you were head of marketing in the NFL, and you knew that you could bring 10 million more viewers to the screen, wouldn't you put Taylor Swift in there?
again, I know she's been just such a fundamental part of this 104th NFL season when her name in Gematria equals 104, and they had to kill Jim Brown, whose name also equals 104 just before the season began, and Ray Lewis's son, who's also 104, and on and on and on. So I hear what you're saying.
I mean, that brings so many people. You could go down the line on how many people have no idea about football, but they know about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. She's a major moneymaker. And again, the Taylor Swift thing too. That's what bothers me about just society is that they'll just go along with whatever they're told to do. And Taylor Swift's a great example because she's a very mediocre musician. So.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
All right. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, it bothers me how much people worship the mediocre. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, though, you really just start to think about these things. It's like the way people are in our society, majority of people are freeloaders, right? They don't want to do anything. That's kind of the cleverness of the cabal. They've made this world like really easy. It's like easy to live. Even if you're poor, it's easy to live. 931.
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, man, I've been sick, so I was knocked out during the sports stream. I had some stuff I want to say. I don't know if I can say it here.
I suppose this is TFR, but go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to point out some stuff about the Lions that I find interesting. Well, really just Michigan and Maryland, right? So as we all know, Detroit turned 3-2 last year, and I don't know if y'all are aware that Michigan played Maryland on November 18th, the 3-2 day of the year. Michigan beat Maryland, and then I don't know if you really would compare NFL to college basketball, but they did also just play again on January 11th, 1-11, Maryland versus Michigan. And Maryland beat Michigan to go up 11-6, while Michigan fell to 6-11. So not to mention, so that date, January 11th, is 31 days from the Super Bowl, the 11th prime number. Also, I don't know if you do this either, but if you added the score that Michigan had in that college basketball game to their college football game, it's 88. Same for Maryland. Again, Detroit, Michigan equals 88. Maryland equals 88. So I thought, not to mention the college football championship where Michigan beat the purple team, Washington. So I thought that was interesting, but also in a different light, where you guys are on the Bucks and Rams. Around the same time I called about the Lions, like a month ago, I called about the Bucks and the Ravens, based off of the Captain Morgan commercial. I don't know if you ever looked at it. I told you to check it out, but just long story short, the whole color scheme of that commercial is red. Obviously, Captain Morgan is red, but
at the very end, the whole commercial was like, they started saying this NFL season is full of clues. Look for clues. They're doing a promotion for their alcohol, but I just, they're like, look for clues. And then it goes through the whole commercial. Is this the clue? Is this a clue? The last clip was Victor Cruz saying, am I a clue? And they're like, no, you're a Super Bowl champion, Victor Cruz. And he's wearing a red and creamsicle color Letterman jacket with the Captain Morgan on the back, which Captain Morgan is a Buccaneer.
Right. Interesting.
Well.
Interesting.
So I put when I seen that, I put a feature on it a couple months ago. So yeah, I just want to throw those things out there.
All right. Interesting observations. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Later. Ooh. All right. We got 10 more minutes. If you guys want to phone in, number is on the screen. And let's see. 202. What's up, 202?
Hey, Zach. One of my buddies sent me something interesting today. I didn't know Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, he coached at Michigan.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Harbaugh's.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that. I was just calling to see if you knew that as well. That he coached Michigan before.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. No, but that's all.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys got snow outside where you are? We got a decent amount of snow out here. It's been freezing balls. Let's see. Yeah, the 201 thing, I told you guys when I came back from New York, we moved. And the only house that Sweet Lady was into, the address was 201. The trolls have been posting my address everywhere. But I told you that was like, it's like, what is going on in the world? Is this like the thing of like you put the number out there and then it comes back to you? If it was up to me, we would live at house. What was it? It was like my birthday in reverse. Or was it my birthday? Maybe the address was 721, the house I liked. But Sweet Lady was worried because that house was out in the middle of nowhere. She's like, people come out here and kill us. Nobody would even know. I was like, yeah, okay, maybe. Actually, if it was up to me, we just wouldn't even have moved. We moved September, what was that, 2022. Sweet Lady, she got the big surprise news that they wanted her to work 50 miles away from where she got hired from. She doesn't like driving on the interstate. And that is a long way to drive, 50 miles each way for work. So we ended up out here in the middle of nowhere in house 201. I used to live at the 102. Yeah, funny. There's always a Rip Van Winkle in the chat. They're like, did you know that Sweet Lady equals 33? Yeah. Yeah, we've covered that one a million times too, but that's not what we call her, Sweet Lady. We just call her Sweet Lady because we like the Tyrese song over here. I remember that crazy girl last year. She was begging me to leave Sweet Lady for her, and then she's like, that song that he calls Sweet Lady some stupid rap song. It's like, it's not even a rap song. It's an R&B song. Come on. The Lions won on 59 date numerology. You know, Motown came out in 59. Eminem equals 59 in Gematria. Eminem, if you guys didn't read the Eminem begging Matt Stafford to throw the game, he's like, please let us win. I rapped for you. Oh, I'm sure he really said that. Everything in the news media is made up crap. My mom called me the other day. She's like, you need to go down and do the Anarchapulco speech since they invited you. Who cares what she said? Just do it anyway. And I said, well, I understand the mindset, but I said, there's also a reason you're all alone, Mom, and you're lonely. And she goes, I know. My mom, she's never really given me that good of advice, but yeah, I mean, I do regret that I had to turn down Anarchapulco. I think it would have been a good opportunity. Then again, I'm sure most of the people who go to Anarchapulco are probably already familiar with my work. And yeah, it's just the one drawback of my relationship is Sweet Lady's not all the way on board. But like I always say, if I hadn't have met her, I don't know. I might not have figured out the work either, because I figured out after I met her, and there were things that she asked me to do in my life that made me start thinking more about these kind of things. And then a weird thing about Sweet Lady is, again, she's from Burma. Like, you know, they're old third world over there. They're into things of the past, and she comes from a family of good witches. People are gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's in the cabal," but no, her family are the healers, and her grandmother, her mother, they're the healers, and her grandmother's mother. That they're always the ones that have passed on the secrets of how to do the healing for people and the animals in the community that get injured. So, and it's all about words. It's all about speaking the right words. So I'm like, that's interesting. I meet you and then I learn this. What's up, 205? 205, you got to mute your video.
Yeah. I'm muted.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, a few months ago, I just want to share some really stupid or kind of funny. I wrote a big sign on my back window. It said the CIA Freemasons are going to bomb the next Super Bowl. And I'm not trolling. People on here think I'm trolling. I'm not trolling. I actually like your work and everything, and I just wanted to share that. That was
well, the downside of that tactic is if nothing happens, people will be like, "Oh, that guy's just a whack job." So,
well, people already think I'm a whack job, so it really doesn't matter.
Well, maybe you should switch up your tactics so people don't think that about you, and then maybe become more persuasive. Maybe just stick to things that are more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't it be better to just say, like,
I don't care what people think about me.
Well, if you're trying to wake people up, why not put up a message that's undeniable? What's with all the heart attacks since COVID?
Right, yeah. That'd be a good message. I mean, I have a picture of it.
I don't doubt it. I'm just saying, I mean, if you're right, everyone's gonna be like, "Damn, that guy's a genius." But it could happen. It's just there's probably better ways to go about waking up the people around you.
Right. But yeah, I had a was that a social media site called again? Truth, Free to Find Truth.
There you go.
Yeah, I used to have one. I think I still have it. Haven't been on there in a while. I should get on there and post pictures and stuff.
Yeah, please do.
All right, Jack. I'll let you go.
All right, appreciate it.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Sweet Lady, man. Sunday, I got to get Sweet Lady on here to tell you her stories. Her family's interesting. Her family's real interesting. And you know, her father too also has a weird story, and it's probably part of the reason how he ended up with Sweet Lady's mother. But when he was a boy, he was getting bullied, and he prayed real hard that night that he got bullied at school, that the person who bullied him would die. And the next day, the boy who bullied him got ran over by a car, and then he felt really bad. He felt really bad that he prayed for that boy's death, and then he did die. And I jokingly told Sweet Lady that we should have her father pray for my trolls, but no, I wouldn't want to do that. But again, it's like, I don't know what's going on with your family. I'm not messing with your family. So, but yeah, her family knows all about the power of words. And it was about a year after I met her that I figured out Gematria. So, all right, we'll take one more call and then we'll wrap it up here. 931.
Yo, dude, you just made me think of something when you brought up the COVID heart attack stuff. Do me a real quick favor, man. Go to Google Translate real fast.
Just tell me what you want.
I think it'd be better if you've seen it because it would make more sense. But if you type in coronavirus, you have to type in, if you translate from Latin to English, COR, and then put a space, ONA, and then put 2 spaces, and then put virus, it translates to English as heart attack virus.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. You just made me remember that, but that's it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got to put 2 spaces, though. That sounds weird. Corona, cornea, coronary artery. Better need to go back to school and study my human anatomy. All right. Yeah, I do got to wrap it up because I got to start making dinner over here. So. All right, but yeah, shout out to the super chatters: Scary Spaghetti, L Noob, Jehovah's Thickness, Rick James, 13 Serpents, Spatium Viator, Gematria Sense, T Hicks, JTS Truther, JS, Carla Hernandez, Country Grammar, Jehovah's Thickness times 2, 1,000 Thrills, Gematria Sense again, Scary Spaghetti again, Aiden, Gematria Sense, Mr. Scott, JTS Truther again, and then even the troll who was using my own name and avatar. But all right, yeah, appreciate the generosity. It's been a minute since we had super chats, so doesn't go unnoticed. And yeah, there's not a TFR tonight because I have to be somewhere else instead. So that's why we just did a going on 4-hour live stream to make up for it. And Truth Does Not Exist wants to call back in again, but next time I got to get off. All right. Have a good night, you guys, and until next time.